Jake, can you do some play-by-play?
Yeah, do some play-by-play,
Here
Jake.
we go. This will be good. This is
good
great.
practice for you. Yeah, come on.
Jake
Come on, Jake.
he doesn't really do baseball that much.
Set the stage.
0-1 count to Judge with the season on the line.
On today's Part of My Take, Week 7 in the NFL, we're going to recap every game. We're going to do fastest 2 minutes. We also have a member of this show's team going to the World Series, so we will talk a little playoff baseball. Who's back? Football guy of the week. All on Pardon My Take Mondays in the fall. Nothing better. Well, actually, there is one thing better. It's called Papa John's. And we here at Pardon My Take are huge fans of the PAPADIAs, the flatbread-style pizza at Papa John's. Well, Papa John's have just outdone themselves with their all-new pepperoni-crusted papadia. I tried it on Wednesday, I want to say. It was actually the best thing that's ever happened. I was walking down the hallway, and one of our sales guy was like, hey, can you try this real quick? And I took one bite, and I was like, I'm going to need the rest of this.
Yeah.
So the pepperoni-crusted papadia is delicious. Order one this week at papajohns.com or through their app. If you don't get your hands on one of these, you are really missing out. These new pepperoni-crusted papadias are hand-stuffed with real cheese and signature pepperoni on the inside and covered with even more cheese and pepperoni on the outside. It's amazing. They ran out of room for pepperoni on the inside, so they put more on the outside. It's a timeless, classic, elevated. Want to earn free pizza from Papa John's? Join the Papa Rewards program to earn points towards free pizza and more each time you order online. So try the new pepperoni-crusted papadia at Papa John's. Order at papajohns.com or through the Papa John's app. Okay, let's go. Welcome to Pardon My Take, presented by Papa John's. Try the new pepperoni-crusted papadia at Papa John's. Order at papajohns.com or through the Papa John's app. Today is Monday, October 24th, Week 7. We begin as New York jets down to Jacksonville to take on the Jaguars, and they're drinking the Kool-Aid with Daniel Jonestown and his inspired play this year. Trevor Lawrence in repeat, and his long hippie hair played like shampoo poo, and it's clear you have to question the Jaguars' conditioning as the Giants were head and shoulders above as the game got late.
And that's the bald truth, Boom.
When the Giants needed to ice the game, they played an oldie but a goodie as Saquon me, rushed for 72 yards. Wait, I can't find the Giants in the standings. Aha! They're up towards the top at 6-1. The Giants, the G-Men, 23, Jaguars, 17.
Sticking in the NFC Beast down to Raljon, where Devondre 3000 Campbell had a big boy pick six, as Packers fans feeling, all right. Now, ladies, now don't get too close to Aaron Rodgers, or else you'll get some of that hippie stank on ya, as Green Bay fans might be asking for the Jordan Love below. Joey Sylvester Stallone looked a little rocky with his right hook, but was able to find his feet and seal the win. The Commanders are riding Heineke as they win 23-21.
In Cincinnati, where it was country western day, as Bolo Tyler Boyd and Jamar Chase Rice lit up the scoreboard in the first half. This Falcons offense really pits different when Kyle doesn't get any deep balls, but they're able to launder some points with a shot to Demir Marty Bird. Head coach Taylor has proven that the Bengals' imperfections only run skin deep as he cured them with a shot of Zacutane. Bengals 35, Falcons 17.
In Dallas, where the big star was ready for war as the Empire Strikes Back. It was the Dallas defense that showed out as Anthony Bartu-D2 had a fumble recovery. Amon-Ra St. Brown's dad said, "These are not the roids you're looking for," as the Lions offense lacked a punch after the receiver went out with an injury. Darth Trayvon Diggs said, "Jared, I am your father," as the Cowboys win easily, 24-6.
In Nashville, where the clock might be striking midnight for Jonathan Taylor Swift and the Colts, Matt Ryan is in a labyrinth of decision-making as people are starting to question the mastermind Chris Ballard and his team that looks like snow on the beach. When Jim Irsay wakes up from his lavender haze, people are worried he may get on his vigilante shit, telling Frank Reich, "You're on your own, kid," as the Colts anti-hero Mike Vrabel sits atop his bejeweled throne in the AFC South. Karma. Am I right? Titans 19, Colts 10. Have you heard the new Taylor Swift album?
It's really good, Boom.
It's really good.
Really, that's my shit, Boom.
Some spread.
Off to Baltimore, where, in a touching tribute to my good friend Liz, Big Truss was in the news despite having a vote of no confidence in Lamarlement. Chief Justice Hill had a fumble recovery as John Harbaugh reinforced his lifetime appointment as Ravens head coach. Sus Edwards ate up the man-to-man D, scoring twice on the way to a Ravens victory as the usual suspects are at the top of the NFC North. Ravens 23, the Browns 20.
In San Francisco, a rematch of Super Bowl 54 as the Chiefs take on the Niners. It was the Niners early as Mahomes had some finger stuck in his throat, leading to a 10-0 lead. The turnaround came quick as Mecole Hardman switched back and forth between rushing and receiving, getting clits all over Kansas City wetter than their barbecue. George Kittler on the roof made it close to the second half, but as is tradition, Mahomes stepped on their throat to end the game. In a touching tribute to when Iowa State was actually good at football, Kyle Shanahan brought in Brock Purdy to continue the legacy of Brocktober with a completed pass in garbage time. The Chiefs whomped the Niners 44-23.
In sunny Las Vegas, Davis, can you pay my mills? Can you pay my automobiles? I don't think you do, so Houston's going to lose. The Raiders' offensive backfield was working at the car, Josh, yeah. Devontae Adams' song, "Never Thought Houston Would Beat Him at Home." Another 6 months, Josh McCown's their coach. And as the Texans never conquered, rarely came now that they're minus Deshaun, they continue to inch closer to the number 1 pick in the draft. The Eaters 38, the Texans 20.
Sounds like you got a finger in that throat.
Little finger down there.
Standing on the corner, Jameis Winston, Tampa, Florida, such a fine sight to see. In Carolina's house, a Panthers dead cat bounce. Are they better off without McCaffrey? Come on, Brady, you're looking lazy. You lost to PJ Walker, you should Harry carry. Panthers 21, Bucs 3. And that is week 7, brought to you by our friends at Chevy. Chevy, the commanding, unstoppable Chevy Silverado. Learn more at Chevy.com. The greatest truck ever created, the new Chevy Silverado. Check it out, Chevy.com, and tell them PMT sent you. Okay, week 7 in the books. We're watching Dolphins Steelers, barn burner. Mm-hmm. Dolphins wearing their throwbacks, which we do tend to talk a lot about jerseys and throwbacks. The fact that the Dolphins don't have the mini helmet on the Dolphin logo as their main helmet is the dumbest thing ever.
Especially Big Cat in this age of preventing concussions.
Yes.
To not put any sort of protective
Correct.
gear at all on that Dolphins. I think that sends a bad message to the youngsters out there.
It really does. And Tua is out there scrambling around like nothing happened.
He's just lowering his head.
Yeah.
Every time he runs with the ball, he's ducking his head. Before the game, he was talking to who was it? It was someone from NBC saying that he's trying to elongate his career. He's looking out for his safety first, understanding that health comes before winning football games.
Right.
And then he's been doing nothing all day except just like lowering his head.
Yeah.
And going like Fitzpatrick style.
Yeah,
dead
running
on
over
into
people. Right, exactly. So we will talk about this game when it concludes. Start the fourth quarters right now. We'll also talk about the Yankees Astros later on with the Phillies stuff. Let's talk some football. I know the prevailing story is going to be old quarterbacks looking very old, and we will get to that. But I think I was looking at it chronologically because obviously there's a couple that you can shift around in the early games. I think it has to be Giants 23, Jaguars 17, and the New York Giants now 6-1. And my biggest question when I was looking through everything, I was saying to myself, is Daniel Jones going to be the guy now?
No, he's definitely become the guy. Big Cat, he had 200 yards passing, 100 yards rushing. First Giants quarterback to ever do that. And when I thought about it, I was like, well, yeah, that kind of makes sense because they have a long tradition of having Eli Manning as their quarterback.
Right.
But yeah, pretty impressive. He's got that dog in him officially now.
And this was the game that we all thought going into it. Everyone was like, well, Vegas knows something. The Jaguars are -3. Like this, at some point this Giants magic has to run out. And it was essentially the same thing that happened in every Giants game where they keep the game close. They're down going into the second half, and Daniel Jones makes some plays. Saquon ices the game and runs his ass off in the fourth quarter. And, I mean, the game ended literally on the 1-inch line. It was probably the best ending to a game that we had in the early slate.
Well, Saquon should not have run out of bounds earlier on because Saquon put them in that position. It should never have come down to that tackle that was made on the 1-inch line because if he had stayed in bounds, I think they would have taken the clock down to 30 seconds. And so Saquon is like that. He was watching on the sidelines, just knowing that everything from that point on was his fault.
He tried not to, and he took one too many steps. But it was the most exciting game. There weren't a ton of thrillers down the stretch. That was probably the most exciting finish, just because the game ended literally on the 1-yard line. Christian Kirk getting stopped on the 1-yard line as the Jaguars tried to come back. And I know we feel like a broken record, but the Giants being 6-1 and Brian Daboll being this good of a coach in his first year, it's still shocking to me because they are legitimately a good team and they find ways to do more with less. And Daniel Jones, I think, is now going to get a contract. You remember, John Mara was like, we've screwed this kid up so much. We feel bad for him, but we're not giving him the 5th year. I don't know. If they go to the playoffs, do they have to give him a contract?
I think if they go to the playoffs, they should. They're getting that position where they at least would have to give him the 5th year.
No, they can't. I don't think they can give him the 5th year.
Not anymore?
I think
so. That deadline passed.
I think
that
passed.
deadline passed in April or whatever. Okay.
Right.
So what they're going to be looking at then, the Giants are kind of fucked in terms of their cap situation, like we discussed earlier on the show. They've had a couple games where they've just had 50 people on the roster because they actually can't afford. They don't have the cap space to have a full roster all the time. So they're kind of going to be fucked in terms of what they can do at the quarterback position. I could see Daniel Jones being like a Duke kid. Doesn't seem like he's really he feels to me like he comes from money. I don't know the history of his family or anything. Daniel Jones could just be like, you know what, fair is fair. Just pay me $5 million.
Right.
I haven't played that well, but I'd like to stick around because this is comfortable.
Yeah, and this is cool that I get to go mac on chicks in Hoboken.
Exactly, which actually wouldn't be the worst career move necessarily for him to do a 1-year thing, and then he can pick wherever he would want to be a backup after that, or he just plays his dick off and earns a massive contract.
He is playing legitimately good football.
Yeah,
and he's doing the things and this is more credit to Brian Daboll and is it Mike Kafka, I think?
Kafka, yeah.
Yeah, Northwestern legend. They are what they're doing and what they're showing is, and it's easier said than done, but when a coaching staff comes in and they're like, we're playing to this guy's strengths instead of saying, here's our offense, you got to fit to it. And we saw Brian Daboll do it with Josh Allen in Buffalo. Hey, Daniel Jones is an electric runner. That running play they kept on running with Daniel Jones in the fourth quarter, the Jaguars could not stop it. They basically would run with Saquon, then run with Daniel Jones, and the Jaguars had no answer for it.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the reports coming out of Giants camp of how they're going to work with Daniel Jones on sliding.
Yeah.
Because he obviously doesn't like sliding. He's not very good at doing it. He's the kind of quarterback that when he tries to slide, he actually runs a higher risk of injuring himself on the slide than he would if he just put his head down like Tua and tried to run somebody over. But yeah, the Giants are now the first team in NFL history to start 6-1 or better and have each of their first 7 games decided by just one possession.
One possession. The largest one was the Bears. They won by 8.
Yep. So the old saying of don't get into an argument with an idiot because they'll drag you down to their level and beat you with experience. That's what the Giants are doing. They're making games ugly, sometimes against very good teams, and then just beating them with Brian Daboll's coaching at the end.
Yeah.
And it makes me wonder, why wasn't Brian Daboll a head coach before this?
Probably too fat.
Too fat.
I don't mean that. I love Brian Daboll, but you know that that is a real thing that happens.
Of course,
I
it's
mean,
discrimination.
it's discrimination where they're like, oh, well, he's like, what is he going to pass out on the sideline?
Yeah, they need
no,
to-
These nuts jokes, they probably didn't take him seriously.
yeah, that too. But like they probably are like, oh, he's probably too fat. It's like, no, he's fine. He's stout. He's strong. He's like
There have been
he's
some
like George
large
Costanza.
NFL head coaches before.
I understand.
Yeah, but they usually get large
They get
after
larger.
they've been on the job.
there also haven't been as many as you think successful.
Successful, different story.
Successful,
Yes.
like Andy Reid. Shout out to Andy Reid. He held it down for the big boys winning the Super Bowl because there's not a ton of fat coaches that win Super Bowls.
Rex Ryan was pretty big, but then he actually got worse as he got thinner.
Yeah.
He lost his power like Samson.
Yeah, I mean, think about the list of fat head coaches winning Super Bowls. It is, listen, it's something that people do. They're very mean about it, but they see a fat guy and they're like, his brain moves slower.
Brian Dable has
That's not true. He's got a sharp brain.
There was
I don't
one
think
picture
that.
of him on the
Yeah, you
sidelines last week that he has a little Alex Jones in him. If you look at like a
He's
lot
got
of
the strength,
a
yeah.
lot about the power.
Yeah,
of
he
Alex
has power.
Jones,
That's what I'm saying. He's
yeah.
not fat. He's powerful.
Yeah,
I
he-
do not think. I do not see Brian Dable and think fat guy. I think powerful man.
Yes.
You know, like he's just like he's like a cannonball.
Yeah, it was good to see this game turn out the way that we thought it would turn out.
Right.
Even though we did bet on the Jaguars, we did so under the assumption that we thought that Vegas knew something that we didn't know. Turns out we're way smarter than Vegas.
Yeah.
We should be able to dominate football season. I think I went 1-3 today. But we should be able to fucking dominate Vegas because we knew that this line was messed up. And it was only because we operated under the assumption that they were smarter than us, that they made us stupid.
Yeah.
So
You're
from
using
now
a heavy
on,
we here because you want to explain your bet that was all-time galaxy brain.
Well, we can go back and listen to Friday's show, but I think we all said Vegas knows something.
Yeah, Vegas knows something, but you went
okay,
extra.
so I tried. I thought I had this whole gambling shit figured out because I took the Jaguars -3, and then I also put a little bit of money on the Giants -9.5 on the other side because I'm like, I think the Giants are going to win, but I think Vegas knows something I don't, so I'm covering both sides of the equation, not realizing that the Giants, they
you left
don't.
yourself like the juiciest middle.
The biggest possible middle. But you know what? That's how you make money in this game, Big
Yes.
Cat. You can't. Scared money don't make money.
That's a fact. So, yeah, I mean, I keep like thinking about like what this season has become, and there's a very short list of very good teams, and the Giants seem to be like knocking on that door every single week. None of their wins have looked incredible, but at what point when you're 6-1, and if you look at their schedule coming up, they play the Seahawks, who we'll get to, who might the first place Seahawks, might I add, which is crazy.
Yep.
That we're in the end of October and the Seattle Seahawks are in first place of the NFC West. There's no chance anyone had that preseason. They play the Seahawks, the Texans, and the Lions. Their next three. I mean that could easily be a 7-2 team.
It could be. I mean,
And,
I got news for you.
Yeah,
The New York Giants are going to make the playoffs.
yeah. I mean,
They're going to make. They just are. They're going.
It's
to
hard.
I want you to all prepare yourself for that moment because I don't want to sneak up on anybody. The New York Giants are going to be a playoff team.
It's hard to miss the playoffs starting 6-1, and I think people will probably be very upset at us they'll be like, "You're jinxing us. What are you doing? Why are you doing this to us?" It is hard though. I feel like to miss the playoffs when you start 6-1 like they are. I know how hard it is because I think the Bears have done it. I think we started 8-1 once and didn't make the playoffs.
If you just give them 2 wins over the Commanders, a win over the Lions, and a win over the Texans, those 2 games are at home against the Texans and the Lions. If you just give those to them, that's 10 wins right there.
What about we should talk a little bit about the Jaguars. It feels like we're just back to square one. And I don't know, they now are in the camp of like they have enough talent, it feels like, and just putting together 4 cohesive quarters. I also saw Nate Tice, who does the Athletic podcast with Robert Mays, he was tweeting out the throwing map of Trevor Lawrence, and it basically like stops at 20 yards. He does not attempt a pass that's over 20 yards.
He's got a little bit of the zoomies on
It's
his
crazy.
ball. Have you noticed that?
Yes.
He's got a zoomie issue where any ball that's about 15 to 30 yards down the field, he will miss his receiver what appears to be like 10 feet above his head.
Right. And he just, he'll have throws where you're like, where the hell was that going? And I don't know what, like we sat here week 3 or week 4, whatever it was, being like the Jaguars are starting to put something together, and they have just, since that moment, have looked not great at all.
Yeah, I've got an idea to fix Trevor Lawrence. My idea to fix Trevor Lawrence is pretty simple. Just get players that were on Clemson to play in his offense.
Travis Etienne's looking pretty nice.
Yeah, Travis Etienne looks good. Maybe go out, try to trade for Hunter Renfrow. Who's the guy in the Packers? is his name? It's another Rodgers, isn't it? Amari Rodgers, I think. Right?
Which I think the Packers would like to cut.
Yeah, get Amari Rodgers on the team.
Yep.
If you look around the league, there are a couple like Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
That was a good transition for both of them.
I love when teams do
Devontae
that.
Adams,
Yes.
Derek Carr. That's why they got
Tua and Waddle.
Tua Waddle. That's why they got Tebow to go to New England to team him up with Aaron Hernandez.
Right.
That didn't work out.
Yep.
But the logic is there. The precedent is there. I just feel like Trevor Lawrence, he looks a little bit uncomfortable sometimes.
Yes.
Throwing to guys that he didn't go to college with. So let's try to get somebody they went to college with.
I feel bad for Jaguars fans too because you just don't the early season success to then have it fall backwards. You'd always rather have the late season success so you can have a whole off season of being like we were coming on. Like
Yeah.
what was happening towards the end, like we just ran out of time. If there was a 25-week season, which Roger Goodell eventually will get to, they would have made the playoffs. Like, but having an early start where September looks awesome and then having it fade and you have to sit with the team that doesn't look any better for the rest of the season, that sucks.
I just think that they'll find their footing once they go to London. That's next week, right?
Is it?
Yeah, we got
Okay,
the London
nice.
game. This is where the Jaguars get into a rhythm.
Jaguars,
right now.
Dolphins?
Jaguars, Broncos.
Oh my god.
They might actually leave Nathaniel Hackett in England.
I'm not going to watch that game.
No, that's a lie.
Nope,
You're
I'm
that's
not
a
going
lie.
to watch that
You're
game.
lying.
No, I might just
you're lying.
boycott it.
That's a very basic PFD commentary for the
might-
bookmarks. They should leave blank and blank.
Yeah.
If they're playing far
him,
away.
Leave him on the
Yeah.
tarmac.
I might just boycott that game because then that would be fun to try to give a recap of like I'll listen to your recap.
You're such a
No,
liar.
I
you're
know,
going to
I'm
watch
lying.
that game.
Of course,
you're
I'm
You're lying so hard right now.
I'm going to do a mega lock.
You can do the boycott that I do sometimes. Just go boycott the NFL from Tuesday to Thursday afternoon.
Yeah, except for the COVID year.
And the waiver wire.
Yeah, the COVID year when they started having
really
Wednesday
screwed
night
up.
football.
Did you see how Jake just completely alphaed me? I just made a comment about like leaving Nathaniel Hackett on the tarmac. And that was his very polite way of being
Saying,
like
you're a
that's
basic
such a
bitch."
basic
Yeah.
thing to say, but in
Yes.
like the nicest way ever. Where I thought for a second he was complimenting me.
Yeah, no, he was not. He was not.
you,
Okay,
Jake.
Giants 6-1. The New York Giants 6-1. Oh, shout out to the guys in the front row wearing the Brian Dable shirts.
Yeah.
Just total guys being dudes. They were just partying it up. They were giving the Brian. They had a Brian Dable like a big cartoon head of him on their shirts. It looked like maybe a bachelor party or something. And they were feeding the shirt beer.
Yeah.
So they were giving the beer, their shirt sips of beer and then sipping out of the beer. And it was like, what's better than this? 6-1 team, pumped about your coach.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Just pouring beer on yourself, and it's hilarious. A great guys moment.
It's pretty cool. I would have actually preferred if they had tried to feed it nachos.
Yeah.
During the game, they just ended up with like cheese sauce and salsa.
Yeah.
Chili all over their shirts. They see some girls later. They try to talk to them. They're like, "What's up with your shirt?" Oh, I was just feeding Coach.
I should actually do that. I should make a shirt where it's the mouth is right around my belly button, and then they'd be like, "Where'd the chips go?" And just
they're
shove them
all
right
in your
into my belly button. Yeah,
I want to do
magic
one.
trick.
I want to do one where it's Mike McDaniel, and then I just put a gravity bong up to my belly button.
That
and
would be
suck
cool
in.
too.
That'd
That would be
sick.
very cool. All right, next game. Ravens-Browns. Ravens 23, Browns 20. The Ravens held on to a fourth quarter lead.
Congratulations.
They did
Ravens.
it. And they almost didn't because they fumbled and they tried to give it up. And we also had Amari Cooper score a touchdown and they get called for offensive pass interference, which it seemed like it was, but it also was one of those like calls like they don't usually call it. Why'd they do that?
It was one of those calls where, yeah, by the book, it's 100% the right call. But at the same time, it's like, come on, it's the Browns. Just like let them get away with that every
Right,
now and again.
yeah.
But then at the same time, I feel bad for defensive backs because the every evolution of the NFL rulebook for the last 50 years has been the league trying to figure out a way to take a shit on cornerbacks.
Yes.
And so it's okay to call one against the offense when it's really blatant like that. Because
but it really was like it was. I watched it back and it was like I just feel like that doesn't get called.
It was very impactful. It wasn't flagrant in terms of the guy didn't fall down when
and
he
it
got
wasn't
shoved,
a full like stiff arm push.
but he definitely got like
had his hands on
he
him.
definitely got like a half step
Yeah.
separation. It was honestly a great play by Amari Cooper, and a lot of times it doesn't get called, but I think it was the right call. Now what was bullshit is what happened after that when they were kicking the field goal and they were kicking a 56. It was really like a 55-yard field goal.
Yep.
And then they called a phantom offsides, or excuse me, they called a phantom false start
start, yep.
against the Browns, even though the Ravens like encroached and ran into a guy
Yep.
on the line, and then they had to move it back 5 yards, and then Cade York kicked it like directly into the line.
Yeah,
and missed a
because you have to kick
60-yard
it
field
low.
goal.
Yeah. No, it sucked for the Browns, but the Ravens held on to a lead, and it was also a throwback game for the Ravens. When you're watching all these games, you can't fully pay attention to every single second, and I saw Lamar make a couple nice throws, and then I look back and he completed 9 passes.
Yeah.
And I was like, what happened here? They just ran the ball, and they actually did what we've been saying, like you have to do if you're the Ravens in the fourth quarter. They got the ball with the lead with, 7 minutes left, and they ran the ball just down their throat, like 11 out of 12 plays, took off 6 minutes of clock. We're about to score when there was a fumble, but it felt like the Ravens finally are learning from the fact that every single fourth quarter they blow a lead.
Yeah, don't let Lamar just go full on passing in the
Yeah.
fourth quarter, especially if you have a big lead like they have had. So that was very smart to see. I was hoping that we get to see Deshaun Jackson for at least one play today.
Yeah.
Every time Deshaun gets signed, you and I have the same thought process, which is I can't wait to see Deshaun Jackson catch like a 73-yard touchdown pass and probably pull his hamstring on his way into the end zone.
Yeah.
And then never play again for the rest of that season.
Yeah, the one catch 80-yard touchdown stat line for Deshaun Jackson, and then in the fourth quarter, it's some kind of injury. It's like, all right, that was fun.
Yeah.
He'll do that till he's 50 years old.
I want to see how many teams Deshaun Jackson has beaten as a wide receiver because he's played for like every team.
Yeah.
Or he's played for a lot of teams.
He's played for a lot of
and
teams.
basically, I think the way that he operates is he watches red zone like all of us, and he sees whatever quarterback throws one nice long ball. He's like, I want to play with that guy.
Yeah.
I could catch that guy's long ball
For once.
Just one
for
time.
one time. And then I'll get injured.
Yep.
And then I'll cash my paycheck.
I saw Myles Garrett is doing his Halloween things again.
Oh.
So he's got the spooky graveyard set up. I think he set his place up to look like the Upside Down from Stranger Things. I think he's doing the thing where he's got the quarterback gravestones for everybody that
Yeah.
You remember when he had the cute little Kyler Murray grave last year?
Yep.
The little one?
That was cute.
That was awesome.
Yes.
So he's turning his yard into a house of horrors. Spookiest house in Myles Garrett, spookiest room in Myles Garrett's house. Big Cat, do you know what it is?
What is it?
His garage.
Aha. Nice. As he crashed his car and almost died.
Yeah.
By the way, we have 3 teams now, which is crazy to say because, like, looking at the NFL right now, there's some really bad teams out there. I don't know if the Browns are really bad because they have enough dudes that we can name, but they aren't playing good football. And we have the Saints at 2-5. They have their first round pick next year going to the Eagles. The Browns at 2-5, their first round pick going to the Texans. The Broncos at 2-5, their first round pick going to Seahawks.
Yeah.
So we have 3 teams now that are all could be like top 10, top 5 picks, all giving up their first round pick to another team, which
Yeah.
is like a fun thing to watch because that's got to just be, I know from experience, having a really bad team and not having your first round pick is a very, very shitty feeling.
Yeah, it's tough. I also think we need to realize the difference between bad teams that are angry that they're bad. That doesn't always mean that they're good teams.
Right.
Do you know what I mean by
Yeah.
that? So, like, the Browns are really pissed off at themselves for being mad.
Saints too.
Saints are really pissed
Saints
off.
are absolutely pissed off.
So after this game, there was a tweet. I forget. I just copied and pasted the words. I don't know who this is, but it said, "We could hear screaming inside the Browns locker room after the loss. Stefanski called it normal football emotion."
Yeah.
Which I love normal football emotion. I get that. But they're really mad at themselves for sucking right now.
That's because they have the dudes.
It's because they have the
dudes.
dudes.
They have the dudes who are like, we're better than this. Like, I'm Nick Chubb. I'm better than this. I'm Myles Garrett. I'm better than this.
Yeah, but
it's another lesson. If you're going to be bad, just don't have any dudes.
Yeah, so they might actually be bad, though. They've got some dudes,
no,
but
they're bad.
But they're just bad.
Their
So
defense is bad.
Just
and-
because you're mad about being bad doesn't mean that you're not actually bad.
No, their defense is bad, and poor Jacoby Brissett is like, it's tough that he has to do this for an extended period of time because he probably was the one person when he was like looking at Deshaun Watson's suspension was like, fuck, it's 11 games or whatever it may be. Like, can it be like 4 games? I thought that's what I signed up for. Like, Tom Brady got suspended for 4 games. I only had to play one of those.
Yeah, this is not at all. Like, Jacoby Brissett is best in small doses. Give him 3 weeks, have him win one of those games, and maybe lose one to a really good team by a close margin, and then you can move on being like Jacoby Brissett's a good backup.
And now we're just stuck with Jacoby Brissett for multiple months, and it feels too much. Like when you're watching him, even Kevin Harlan was calling him a magician today
that was a bit,
because he basically got out of a sack.
Yeah.
It was a very basic play. He's like, Jacoby Brissett, the magician, because he was just shocked that he was able to do that. So I've had my Jacoby Brissett fill.
Yeah, I'm done.
I don't really want to watch him play football.
I'm done with him.
Yeah. Until he comes back, until he shows up in a spot start, then I'll get excited about him because that's exactly what he is.
As a backup for preferably another team.
Yeah, it'd be great.
I don't think I need to see him as the Browns backup anymore.
Not anymore. Yeah, I'd agree. All right, let's get to the sad old quarterback portion of the show. We got 3 in a row. We'll start with the Commanders, 23, Packers, 21. Taylor Heineke and the Commanders beat Aaron Rodgers. He's got, what, is it three straight losses now?
He's got three straight losses.
He personally
on him
has 3 straight losses, looking dead on the ground after the game.
And the Patriots weren't even trying to beat him.
And the Patriots,
otherwise it'd be
thank
4.
you, Hank.
Yep, good
we were
point.
about to mention that.
So he's got 4. Technically, he has 4 straight losses.
4 straight losses.
That's a little pro tip to anybody out there. If you put the word technically
Yep.
around any take that you have, it makes it automatically correct.
Technically, they haven't won a game because they didn't embarrass the Bears, which is a loss.
Yeah, I mean
that's their standard.
I mean, technically, the Commanders are the hottest team in football right now.
That's true. 2 in a row. But yeah, let's start with the Commanders, and then we'll talk about Aaron Rodgers' dead body on the ground. Taylor Heineke. I mean, that was the perfect Taylor Heineke experience where it's pick 6, looking terrible in the first half, and then just lights out gunslinger in the second half.
Pick 6 should have been a fumble 6. Probably should have been another pick 6 sprinkled in there, but he doesn't stop trying to throw the ball.
No.
That's what I love about Taylor. The play is never dead when Taylor Heineke is your quarterback. Whereas if it's Carson Wentz, he will panic and he'll end a play way too soon because he gets scared of things and loud noises. Taylor Heineke, he embraces the chaos. I invite everybody out there to embrace the chaos that is Taylor Heineke, because watching a game with him as a quarterback is genuinely fun to do.
It is.
Like every time he throws the ball, I just mutter, I just scream to myself like, Heineke, and you never know. That could be a Heineke of doom, could be a Heineke of complete joy. That's a home run for the New York
Harrison
Yankees.
Bader. Is that his name?
Yeah.
Yeah, Bader.
Mr. October.
Mr. October.
Master Bader.
Just took it up 5-4 Yankees in the 6th, bottom of the 6th.
So yeah, I love watching Taylor Heineke play. I don't have any expectation for this team really, but I'm rooting for Heineke. I hope that he gets a good contract. I hope he makes a lot of money, and he's a fun quarterback to watch, and especially when you're beating teams like the Green Bay Packers, you can delude yourself at times into being. I know they're not the Green Bay Packers.
No,
they're
bad.
They're bad now.
They're bad.
But much like when the Jets, I think what this really says is maybe that Jets win against the Packers might have been fool's gold last week.
Well, it's funny because we have, and we're going to talk about the Bucs next, but it is like now that we're getting a few weeks further down the line, realizing, this team actually might be bad, and that's what the Packers feel like right now. And yeah, Taylor Heineke, he was 13 for 16 for 162 yards and a touchdown in the second half. He gets stronger and better as the game goes along because he's like, I'm Taylor Heineke. I was meant for this moment. Versus Carson Wentz is like, I'm Carson Wentz. Oh, my God, watch out for that lineman. Let me do a spin move and fumble the ball.
Yeah, maybe and sprain both ankles. Because my body is trying so hard to escape the big man that's coming after me. Taylor Heineke he's like a drug with all the great side effects and all the really terrible drawbacks.
Right.
But I enjoy doing him every Sunday.
Yeah.
And I hope they keep putting him out there as quarterback even when Wentz comes back, when he gets healthy. I hope it's still Heineke. Maybe sprinkle a little bit of Sam Howell in there at the end of the year. But he's way more fun to watch. He makes watching football fun as opposed to Carson Wentz, who just makes watching football seriously, seriously depressing.
Yes.
And
the stat, by the way, that they popped up on the screen, the Washington football franchise, I guess you call it, because it's 3 different names, have had 11 different starting quarterbacks since 2018. That's impressive.
I thought it was more. I'll be honest with you.
That's impressive.
It felt like more.
Yeah.
When you go through the like Wednesday Garrett Gilbert starts, that feels like a multiplier where you could have told me 24 different quarterbacks in the last 4 years. I would have said that sounds about right to me. But the takeaway is I'm happy with my Commanders. I love Taylor Heineke, and I will be tweeting at National Sports Personalities tomorrow asking them to talk about the Commanders.
Yeah.
Talk about the Commanders.
Say something nice about the Commanders.
Say something nice. Greeny, I'm looking at you, motherfucker.
They were my mortal lock today, and I loved every second of that game because Taylor Heineke's a gamer. He's a true gamer.
I'm glad we let Matt LaFleur walk.
Yeah. So let's talk about the Packers because the panic that is setting in for the Green Bay Packers it's basically the highlight of my season. They are now all kind of like self-combusting because they have a quarterback they paid a ton of money to who's getting older. I don't think Aaron Rodgers is washed, but he's getting older. And they have a roster set up to run the football and play defense and win games the ugly way, yet they just refuse to run the football and use probably their best offensive player, not Aaron Rodgers, is Aaron Jones. They just don't use him.
Mm-hmm.
And watching it week in and week out, and Packers fans get upset about the same thing week in and week out is glorious because they're essentially running an offense that is not fit for their personnel, and it just keeps failing.
And Aaron Rodgers at one point today looked at the sidelines. He's like, "What the fuck are we doing?" And he hates this offense. He hates.
They're not running. He's still running. They're not running the offense they should be running. He hates the fact that he doesn't have wide receivers. But you don't have wide receivers. You should run the ball, and you should be okay with running the ball. And Aaron Rodgers kind of blames everyone else. Like, you're not playing perfect football either, dude.
I'm talking about the motion stuff.
Yeah.
The motion stuff that he's pissed off about because he's used to just lining up and playing football and just seeing the field, knowing where he's going, the West Coast offense. And he's very mad at Matt LaFleur. I don't know what they said after today's game, but I'm sure that whatever Aaron Rodgers said, he'll get on a microphone tomorrow and be like, "No, I didn't mean it like that. I meant it in a different, less antagonistic way." But the Packers, they're bad. And at the end of the game, I did think for a second that, okay, there is too much time on the clock for Aaron Rodgers, and they ran some weird plays. They didn't let Aaron Rodgers throw a Hail Mary.
Yeah.
Why don't you call a Hail Mary for statistically the best?
He's too old.
He's an atheist too, which I think impacts his Hail Mary capabilities.
Yes.
And they did the.
You're on a roll tonight with those.
What?
That was a good joke.
Yeah.
Well,
it's
true. It's like the Myles Garrett. Yeah.
He's an atheist.
Yeah.
The Myles Garrett was a bad one.
Yeah.
But the play at the end of this game was they tried to do the rugby style thing. And coaches, I know that I talk about the rugby design laterals too much maybe on this show, but just for the end of the game in that situation,
you're right.
If you know how to set up a basic line, you should be able to run that play and at least advance the ball 30, 40 yards every time.
Yeah.
You should, because they don't know how to defend it.
Yeah.
But they don't know, and it was very funny. Aaron Rodgers throwing it all the way across the field to his offensive lineman. Forward.
Justin Fields a better passer backwards than Aaron Rodgers. That's a statistical fact.
That's true. And then Aaron Rodgers is lying face down on the ground.
He wouldn't get up.
Just crying, just weeping into
it was so delicious.
That shitty turf.
It was so delicious. They suck. They're not a good football team, and it feels like none of them are on the same page. It feels like the front office, coach, and quarterback, none of them are on the same page because they built this entire team to be one way, and they're playing games the complete opposite way, and they keep losing, and they're like, why are we losing? Because if they just took Aaron Jones, they're like, run it down your throat every time, I think they would be a 5-2 team right now.
Yeah.
I really do. I know that maybe that's just because that's exactly what they did to the Bears, and it worked very well, but I don't know why. I think they ran a total of 12 running plays today.
Aaron Jones, when he had the ball, I don't know what the numbers are, but I do remember in the first half them running the ball and be like, well, they can just get 6 yards a carry.
So they ran the ball 12 times for 38 yards, which obviously isn't a great average, but that's to run the ball effectively, you have to keep running it, and
so
then
that you can break one or two.
Yeah, right. And then eventually you're going to weaken the defense to be able to break those. 12 rushes is just that's not enough when Aaron Jones is one of your best players.
It's pretty bad. Shout out to the FedEx Field crowd today. I know that it was probably 60% Washington Commanders fans today, which is an improvement over what it's been in the past. They had some really loud sell the team chants going.
Yep.
They booed the fuck out of Tanya Snyder when they put her ass on the Jumbotron.
Alumni weekend.
So well done. It was alumni.
Which is just everyone who hasn't sued the Commanders comes back.
What it is, it's any member of a team that finished above 500 that is currently not actively involved in litigation against the team, also minus Chris Cooley, who just hates the team.
Yep.
Then they'll bring you back and they will award you with they'll let you touch one of the old Lombardi trophies at halftime.
Yeah.
So that was really nice to see.
What did you guys just point, Hank? What did you just point to Jake for?
They're just showing the time for tomorrow's game, if necessary.
What did it say?
4:30.
Oh, it is.
That's what it's on the
5:07. This is 5:07
Probably
on
4:30
ESPN.
for the pregame start or whatever.
Damn.
I just want to put this out here because we're going to see eventually maybe a touchdown catch by Sammy Watkins. And when that happens, then you'll have to update your Aaron Rodgers graphics of he's now thrown 2 touchdowns to players that were drafted in the first round.
Yes. I'm looking up, by the way, Aaron Jones rushing this year. So against the Bears, he was 15 carries for 132 yards. Against the Patriots, these are 2 of the 3 wins. He was 16 carries for 110 yards. And then he's run the ball 8 times today and 9 times last week. Mm-hmm. I don't really get that. That makes no sense. But I love it. I don't want them to stop doing this. Never give Aaron Jones the ball.
Here's a little stat. Aaron Rodgers, he now joined Tom Brady at 3-4. That's his first season with a losing record through 7 games in his entire career.
Wow. Not even the Mike McCarthy year? The firing year?
Apparently not.
I guess they lost down the stretch.
That's probably what put the accelerator on firing Mike McCarthy.
Yeah, remember
there.
Joe Philbin?
Yep. Oh, my God, yeah.
Joe Philbin
Dolphins legend.
Yeah, Joe Philbin looking like a dead guy just standing on the sidelines. Just hit that face. He just instilled like I am no higher than a special teams coordinator.
No.
Don't ever make me anything more than that.
It's like him and Matt Rule. Those are the 2 prime guys that if I saw that you were hiring that person to be a head football coach, I would fire you for even considering hiring.
And he was
Yes.
their head coach when they were on Hard Knocks, so
Yeah.
you got a front row seat to that.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
him?
that year they were 3-4-1.
Which coach do you think was more boring on Hard Knocks, Joe Philbin or whoever it was? What's that guy's name that was the coach of the Buccaneers?
Fuck, who was it?
That guy that looked like he worked at Home Depot. Shit. He had maybe like a German name with a K in it.
Wait, not a head coach?
No, I think he was a head coach.
A head coach?
Yeah, Bucs head coach.
Well, they had Lovey, obviously.
This is going to kill me.
What year
Philly
was it?
started with a D.
Dirk Cutter. I
Yes.
think.
Dirk Cutter.
That was
yes.
him, right?
Yeah,
I haven't looked it up yet.
Dirk Cutter, who is, I now think, the passing game coordinator for he's the interim offensive coordinator at Boise. I knew his name popped up because they fired the offensive coordinator and it's Dirk
Maybe we'll
Cutter's
see him at the
name.
Arizona Bowl.
This is kind of what Dirk Cutter, you'll never believe this. He was the coach for 3 whole years
Yeah.
in Tampa Bay. Wow.
Good times.
What were you guys thinking?
Dirk Cutter. Good times. Yeah, the Packers suck. They didn't have a 3rd down conversion without a penalty flag today, which is crazy to say. Also, Aaron Rodgers had 47 passing yards in the first half.
It was wild, especially considering that this Washington Commanders defense is essentially, personnel-wise, basically the same from last year when they had a historically bad 3rd down defense.
Right.
And by historically, I believe they were the worst of all time.
Yes.
And then they can't even get a single 3rd down conversion today.
It was crazy.
I couldn't believe what was going on with the Packers. Like if you can't convert a 3rd down against this Washington defense, your team's broken.
Yeah.
Broken.
Yes. No, they are very, very broken. So it's great, and I hope they don't figure it out. Let me look at their schedule real quick because it does. And so people are probably getting burned, being like, "This is." I thankfully got off of this. I was like, the Packers stink. The Commanders with Taylor Heineke are frisky. Like, you're gonna keep doing this. Oh yes, holy shit, yes. They play the Bills on Sunday Night Football next week. That is going. We might have to record late.
You're getting.
We might have to record late. I might have to just soak in that game.
You're getting perverted right now.
I am literally getting half a chub. Like thinking about what Josh Allen's going to do to that team.
There was one national NFL writer that texted us. I'll just say that it was Hank that did it. That said that he prefers Antonio Gibson over Brian Robinson. And
college football writer.
Yeah. Also dabbles in NFL.
Yeah.
Tweets out a lot of
He's
his
not
gambling
very smart
picks.
in the NFL.
He's also pervert and Italian.
Yeah.
And he said that he prefers Antonio Gibson to Brian Robinson because
bad take.
Because Antonio Gibson is fully healthy without bullets in his leg. And I thought that was a bit over the line. It was similar to Billy's favorite president.
Kenny Pickett just threw a terrible pick.
I like my running backs who don't get shot.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? Brian Robinson.
He's awesome.
I still think if you can get comeback player of the year for something that happens in the middle of the season, give it to that guy.
Yes. Kenny Pickett just threw a terrible, terrible pick. Looks like the Dolphins are going to win. Hopefully they don't cover, but it feels like they're also going to cover. So that was bad. There's a lot of action going on right now. The Yankees are trying to hold on to a one-run lead. Let's do an ad, and then let's talk about another old quarterback in Tom Brady. So, PFT, you got a quick word from one of our sponsors.
That's right. I certainly do. I want to talk to you about our great great friend over at Game Time. MLB playoffs are underway. If you plan on getting tickets, you need Game Time. We've got potentially another game in New York coming up. We've got a World Series coming up. We want to send Batgirl maybe to a game. I don't know. We'll see if he's going to be in town for any other games. But if you're looking for last-minute tickets, I know a great place to get them. That's the Game Time app. Game Time is a ticketing app that makes it easier than ever to score last-minute deals on tickets to sports, concerts, and shows. They guarantee the lowest price. If you haven't given Game Time a shot yet, you don't know what you're waiting for. These guys are going to hook you up. You're going to love this app. We've been using Game Time all year. We went to a bunch of baseball games this year. I went to some hockey games last year. Going to go see the Caps when they're here in New York. Pretty pumped up. Going to use Game Time for all that. Download the Game Time app. Go to the account tab to create a login. Redeem code PMT for $20 off your first purchase. Some terms apply. Download Game Time. Last-minute tickets. Lowest price guaranteed. Also great for college football games. Billy, I know you went to go see, it was Tennessee, Florida, using the Game Time app.
Amazing time.
Jake, you've been going to some baseball games. Game Time hooking it up.
Yep. Shout out Yankees playoffs game.
There we go. You can get the best seats in the house with Game Time. Download the Game Time app. Go to the account tab, create a login, redeem code PMT. I'm personally giving you $20 off your first purchase. Go buy an ice cold Coors Light on me with that $20. Get 2 of them.
Probably go to the Yankees playoff game today and get money back.
There you go.
I had tickets for like $10.
Yeah, it was
love that.
$35 to get in tonight for Game 4 Bad
Wow,
Sports Time.
bad sports time.
Terrible sports time.
The Bronx is a bad
Hopefully
sports
they're
town.
winning as we're recording. You can go to Game 5.
Yeah, but probably, like Hank said, for
Game
they,
Time
might-
to pay
they might
you.
actually pay
Yeah,
you. Yeah,
right.
yeah. Yeah, you can just walk right in.
Game Time. Last minute tickets. Lowest price guaranteed.
Okay, next up, this is also just fantastic peek into my mind where I'm like, this team, the Packers, they stink and everyone thinks they're going to turn it around. Like, bet against them, and then I just keep betting on the Bucs and thinking they're going to turn it around. The Bucs are a bad football team. They lose 21-3 to the Carolina Panthers, who everyone thought was the worst football team in the NFL, maybe the Texans, but they were in the running for it. They not only beat them, they beat like the shit out of them. The Bucs are so broken. It started with Mike Evans dropping a ball that was they calculated he was 10.9 yards of separation. That's how far open he was, which is like almost unheard of in the NFL. And he drops it. From that point on, the Bucs offense was as bad as it gets. Their drive chart was punt, 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 end of half, punt, downs, punt, field goal, downs.
Not great.
0 turnovers, 3 points. That's hard to do.
Not great. Tom Brady, when was the last time he had 3 points? A team that he played on.
He had 3. So it's funny you bring that up because I have a stat that Hank's going to love.
Oh, wait. Is it that New Orleans Saints game?
Well, here's the stat.
Yeah.
Hank's going to love this because Hank, you can just put this in your back pocket to the Bucs have ruined Tom Brady. Tom Brady has scored 3 or less points 5 times in his entire career. In his first 20 years, all for the New England Patriots, he did it twice. In the last 3 years with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, he's done it 3 times.
Yikes.
Yeah, not good. Not good.
So my theory
Bill.
on these Panthers is that they see that they're trading away all the good players right now. And so all the players on the Panthers hate playing on the Panthers so much that now they're trying really hard because they're like, wait, if I play well,
Freedom.
I might get traded away
Yeah.
from here. So
Yeah.
that's a very powerful motivational tool for these Panthers players to be having right now.
Although they shouldn't trade, like it was DJ Moore played well, caught a crazy touchdown pass, and Brian Burns played well, and he's like the Panthers should not trade those 2 guys. I know there's been a lot of talk about it, and I'm sure there's some Panthers fans who are like, oh, let's get all the picks. You don't want to trade like your actually young, good talent because then you draft someone and there's like a 50% chance they suck.
Yeah,
those
so-
guys are good.
so
and we
you-
know they're good.
So you want to use your draft picks to get guys like those.
that. Don't give them away.
In your wildest dreams, you would want your picks to turn into those guys.
You're overpriced running back, and Christian McCaffrey's good, but that's a position that you shouldn't be using a ton of your money on.
Right.
That's someone you trade, not the guys that are young and can be the future of your franchise.
Matt Rule took over this team, and he was like, the fans seem to really like Christian McCaffrey. Let's give him a big contract.
Yes.
I'd like to keep him around for a while. So, yeah, I think that the Panthers, they might be experiencing that little thing where They're playing for future jobs, and they're playing for the right to not have to be a Carolina Panther anymore.
Yes.
And here's a fun little stat about Tom Brady. With his Week 7 loss to the Panthers, Tom Brady has a losing record through his first 7 games of a season for the first time since when? Trivia question.
Never had that.
Trivia question.
2002.
2002, his
Nope.
first full season as a starting quarterback. And that's the only healthy season of his career where he did not make the playoffs.
He's and it's crazy because the XFL is very much back because we had Taylor Heineke and PJ Walker, XFL legends, beat Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady today. PJ Walker is like, how can you not root for the guy? Because he was undrafted, cut, led the league and led the XFL in touchdowns and yards before it got canceled. Now is, I think, 2-1 as a spot starter. And watching this game, it was crazy because you just kept on thinking like, oh yeah, the Bucs will wake up. They just aren't good.
They're a
They
bad
just
team.
straight up are not a good team.
Really, their losses against the Panthers and the Steelers are probably the worst 2-game stretch that any team will have all season.
When you
When you
8.5
take into
point
account
favorite, 13-point favorite.
Yeah, when you take into account how much they were favored by in each game, it's pretty bad. This was supposed to be the get right game for the Bucs. They're wrong. They got less right than they were before. They got worse.
I had this idea last night when I was watching South Carolina, Texas A&M, and Miami had just lost to Duke by I think double digits. And at the end of the year, I want us to do like a recap of big games we thought they were big games that ended up not being big games, like the Texas-Miami game in whatever it was, week 3. Everyone got pumped for it. Oh man, Texas A&M is great. Miami's back. And it's like both those teams are probably going to not even go to a bowl. The Packers-Bucs game that we watched, whatever it was, week 3, week 4, we're like, big game, huge game, implications for the playoff seeding. We're going to look back and be like, no, that game just sucked. And 14-12 was exactly what we thought. It was like a defensive battle. And, they aren't healthy. No, both those teams just aren't that good.
Yeah, you're going to probably maybe say that about maybe Rams Cardinals.
Yeah.
Maybe some of those games.
So we need to do a retrospective of all the games that we thought were big games in the moment, and then we look back and we're like, that game, if they played that now, we'd be like, no thanks.
Were we
like
saying-
if Miami and Texas A&M played right now,
Yeah.
I'd be like, no, put it at noon and I'll watch it on ESPNU.
I think we were saying when we did our season preview with Andy Staples that we should draft games that will be played over the course of the season and see how good those games are going to be compared
Right.
to our drafting of those matchups.
Yeah.
Hank and I were talking a little bit on the couch today about Brady, and Hank, you were saying that Brady still has like an ace up his sleeve that he can use with his family, where if he just walks away from the team right now in the middle of like what could be
Hank
more
was saying some other shit.
what could be more romantic
What are you
than
talking
that,
about?
right? Like
Hank was saying some other
what
shit.
What if Tom Brady just like quit in the middle of the season to go be with his family? Like Giselle would probably be taken aback and be like, "Wow, this is a grand gesture."
It's the most
walking away.
romantic thing you've ever done.
It would be.
Yeah,
It would.
I think
It would.
the best.
And the Bucs stink. Tom Brady probably realizes that the playoffs are a long way away. Just
well, no,
to even make the
they're-
playoffs.
NFC
no,
South.
that's the problem is they 100% are still going to make the playoffs.
Yeah, they'll make it. So
because they play in the NFC South.
I actually think the most romantic thing, and this should be a motivational tool for Tom Brady, the most romantic thing you can do if you really want your family back, you got to turn this motherfucker around. You got to get the Bucs to the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
You got to get them all the way to the Super Bowl, and then quit right before the Super Bowl and go back to her and be
I
like
like it.
I've realized where in all this perspective having that I've done this week, I've realized that you're what's more important to me than who cares about a Super Bowl.
Kyle
break.
Trask will play in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Jake, remind us because this is going to happen. The Bucs are going to make the playoffs. They play it. Oh, the Yankees are about to blow this lead.
They had an ending double play with an error, and the Astros just tied it.
Oh man,
Similar to Game 3 when they
That's
collided
tough.
in the outfield and then hit a 2-run home
Sweep
run.
is
That's
coming.
really hard.
This is a painful way
It's
to go
not
out.
ideal.
This is a
It's not
painful way to
ideal.
go out.
Kind of crazy to think that in the
Game's
history
not over,
of part
though.
of my take, like most of us have had teams win a World Series.
Yeah,
And now it's up to Billy, you,
Jake. Yeah, the Yankees are.
and Max.
Yeah,
Yeah.
4/6 of this show have gone, or 4/5, because you guys are both Yankee fans, have gone to at least gone to the World Series. The
Yeah.
Yankees have not.
Tip of the cap.
Imagine saying
Congratulations.
that.
Thanks,
The
Jake.
Red Sox, the Phillies, the Cubs, and the Nationals have all gone to the World Series, and the Yankees have not.
Correct.
Wow.
Not good.
That's a bad franchise.
No hiding from
It's a bad franchise.
I think it just speaks to
It's
how
a bad decade.
No, it's a bad franchise.
bad franchise.
franchise.
poorly run franchise.
Pinstripes don't mean anything anymore. That's a fact.
It's not ideal.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's a good. You guys made the playoffs pretty much every year
Yeah, that's
in
true.
the decade. Like
And
that seems like a good
here's
thing.
I was saying this spin zone
you guys are
earlier.
just choke artists and can't even make it to the championship.
62 home runs is like that's better than a World Series.
Right. No clean player's ever done that.
That's like
hang
almost
a
top
banner.
5 of all time.
Yeah, hang a banner.
Number one
62
clean.
home runs.
Number one clean.
Number
Yeah.
one clean
Well,
player.
check the record
What's
books.
that?
You're a stats guy.
Yeah.
So does
Record
it say
books.
clean or dirty on the record
Yeah,
No,
books?
it does
Wait, you
not.
show me Sammy
So-
Sosa's failed drug test?
Jake, what? Yeah,
No, you can't.
Where did
Okay.
Where did Barry Bonds ever test positive?
So what are you?
I don't know.
I just go
Yeah,
by
I
the
don't
record
either.
books.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
believe the fake news. That's what you do.
No.
Yeah. Okay, so 62. That's hang a banner. Okay, wait, Brady. We were talking about. Oh yeah, he's
old.
Yeah, he's old.
Oh, yeah,
they
yeah.
will go to the playoffs.
Yep, for
what I
sure.
was saying to Jake is remind us because this is what's going to happen. The Bucs are going to win the NFC South. They're probably going to win. I don't know. Let's say, what do you think they're going to go? Maybe 10-7. Maybe.
If I'm just putting my finger in the wind and feeling which way I think that this Bucs team could go, I think that they'd probably make the playoffs at 10-7.
9-8,
Or
maybe.
they could go 11-6.
I don't think they're going 11-6.
They're not. I mean,
they're not
how they are right
you
now.
think they only lose 2 more games? No, they're not going 11.
I'm just saying, like, how long until Bruce Arians gets
No.
moved from like 2 steps off the sideline to 1 step off the sideline?
Yeah, no, I don't think they're going 11-6. I could see them going 10-7, 9-8. Either way, they're gonna have a home playoff game because they're winning the NFC South. Jake, you need to, no matter what we say, don't let us bet on the Bucs because what we're gonna say, and everyone in the world is gonna say it. Don't count out Tom Brady. This team is bad. This team is just bad, and sometimes you got to say. Guess what? It's not all Tom Brady's fault, but the team is bad.
Going to be the first don't bet on this person in the playoffs reminder.
What's the other
From
one?
the January 24th of last season. Titans Bengals. Don't let Big Cat bet on Ryan Tannehill in the
Okay,
playoffs.
all right, yes. All right, so this
The
is good.
same date I was
They're
gonna
going to do
remind
the
you.
same thing.
So now
The
we have
Titans-
2 reminders.
All right, so that's actually the perfect segue because the Titans are going to win the AFC South. So both. Oh, Kenny Pickett just threw a pick. He was leading him down.
Incomplete.
Oh, incomplete.
Wait, Big Cat. Before you get to that, I'm just looking at the Bucs schedule.
Yeah, no, they're not going 11-6.
Loss. They're playing the Seahawks at 9:30 a.m. I'm assuming that's a London game.
Yep.
That's. I like the Seahawks. That's a weird Seahawks game.
Seahawks are in first place.
Why was that ruled incomplete?
Yeah, that was a
Then
pick.
Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
Yeah, 9-7, but they might make the playoffs if they're 9-7.
No, I think they will. I think if they beat the Saints, if they can beat the Panthers, which they couldn't today, they already have 1 game against the Falcons. They're going to go to the playoffs. Don't let us bet because we're going to talk ourselves and be like, don't count out Tom Brady. This team is just bad. Similar to the Packers, they're just bad. It's just a bad team. Maybe they figure it out, but they're a bad team.
But how romantic would it be if let's just say they're up by like 1 point at halftime, and Tom Brady pulls Avonte Davis and just leaves,
Yeah.
and drives home at halftime of the Super Bowl to be with his wife.
And I don't think it's all Tom Brady. Their offensive line is crap. Their defense is supposed to be really good, and then it felt like whenever the Panthers needed to, get a drive or even ice the game, they were able to gash them. It's just a bad football
I
team.
feel like they don't have any weapons. I mean, Mike Evans, yeah, he's great, and he dropped that 1 catch today, which was really tough to watch.
Julio Jones, guess
Julio
what?
Jones
He's old.
stinks.
He hasn't
He
played.
stinks now. Tom Brady's probably considering getting on the phone with Antonio Brown.
Yeah.
Be like, hey, I know that you've been posting some memes recently. You've been very active in Photoshop, but let's just let bygones be bygones because I'm trying to win a football game here.
Yes. All right. So the Steelers officially have lost this game. That was actually
But the Steelers covered.
yeah, they covered. Good teams win, great teams cover. Dolphins feel like they're back on
Right
track.
back in the mix. Undefeated with 2 in a full game.
Yes. They finally did a full 4 quarters where they had the same quarterback the whole time, which they hadn't done in like
They
a
haven't
month.
lost with that formula.
Yes. So good for the Dolphins. I mean the Steelers are put the Steelers in your frisky file because it does feel like they play frisky ball, and T.J. Watt will be coming back.
Yep.
So, but yeah, that didn't feel. I'll have to watch the all 22. It didn't feel like Kenny was great down the stretch, even though I still believe him.
And the
All right,
Astros,
the Astros
are
are
taking
gonna
the
win.
lead after the error of the inning-ending double play.
And Hank is chuckling like the Joker. That was a very Joker-fied chuckle that you gave him.
Are you gonna finally give up, Jake?
course not.
Okay.
That was even like the Joaquin Phoenix Joker.
Yeah.
That was an evil, villainous laugh. You just let
Pathetic
out.
team. Pathetic team.
Pathetic.
Pathetic.
Billy?
Come on, the
Billy
game's
knows
not
they're
over.
pathetic.
The game's not over.
Billy knows
What about
they're
the
pathetic.
series, Billy?
I went-
How do you feel about the
You
series?
guys both went to the game
I
on
went to
Saturday.
the game.
It was pathetic.
It,
That was pathetic.
I've been
Saturday
fortunate
night's
to
game
go to
was
a lot of
pathetic.
Yankee games in my life. That was the worst
Pathetic.
playoff game I've
Would you
ever
say it was
been to.
pathetic?
It was pathetic.
Yes. You guys had like 2 hits?
3 hits, 2 of them in the ninth inning.
Yeah. Pathetic.
They had
That
one
was-
hit entering
that
the
was
ninth inning.
Going to a game and not being able to
It's
cheer
not
like
once.
Yeah, that's pathetic.
Cole having a scoreless first inning.
Oh, that was cool.
Yeah, that was awesome.
And it was cool when he said, "I got you."
Yeah.
After the
Yeah,
air.
Yeah,
that
for
was
the
very
air.
funny.
Yeah,
It
it
was
was
a
awesome.
bomb.
Don't worry,
Good
I'll take care of this
sportsmanship.
I
guy.
got
Good
you.
teammate.
And the short porch, just poetic.
Yeah, it's like you built your own stadium to eliminate yourself.
Yes.
That's tough.
it was a really nice day.
Foisted by your own petard.
Oh no.
I hate that.
If they only had closed the roof, game 2
That
would
was
have been different.
That was very funny.
Well,
Yeah, the Yankees. I mean, you guys have to admit, the Yankees, the way they go out and like the excuses they make are so funny.
It's very funny that
they're
it's the
not
Yankees.
you can't defend.
No, you
It-
can't defend the fact that they were like exit velocity. I said, I was like, why not just play the games? Whoever has the hardest hit ball in the game wins.
Also, it's
Yankees
inning ending double play, but on the play to first, the pitcher should have been there a lot earlier. That was 2
point.
mistakes.
Two
Good
mistakes.
point.
That's
No
Fundament-
hustle.
Altuve's quick,
Bad.
but yeah.
What you know what they say? Bad fundies.
Yeah, fundamental.
Those
This is the
bad
stuff they
fundies.
work off in
Baseball
spring
IQ.
Yeah, but
training.
Big Cat, home runs.
Yeah, it's true. 62 of them.
And the team in general, like they just mash, so who cares?
You know what though?
Can't play small ball.
Most Yankee
can't
fans-
field, can't pitch, no bullpen.
The majority of Yankee fans are
Dingers.
the one nice thing you could say is the majority of Yankee fans are Giants or Jets fans, so that at least they have a good football team. That's a fact.
Except Jake.
Except, well, his team just won.
Just won.
Yeah, his team just won. Okay, next up, sad quarterbacks. Titans, Colts. Titans 19, Colts 10. Matt Ryan just got absolutely demolished in this game. The Titans won it essentially just Derek. They're like old school Titans. They went Derrick Henry in defense. Bud Dupree back, best name ever, playing great defense. And yeah, it's like the Colts. They had the nice little two game stretch where it was like, hey, they're winning games ugly. Look at like they went to short game in Denver and they win a Thursday night game. Then they beat the Jags at home with a fourth quarter comeback. And then you come back to earth and you see Matt Ryan just running for his life, getting absolutely smoked, play in and play out. He has 9 interceptions, 11 fumbles, 3 lost, but 11 fumbles. And this is what you paid for.
He's actually he's had a good couple weeks for his fumbling.
Yeah.
Considering what he was at before, so he's on an upswing for that. He's doing this thing where anytime somebody gets in the backfield, he like starts to bail on a throw before he even starts.
He
the
gets
throw.
scared.
He gets very scared.
Yeah.
Which I mean, like all things considered, it's probably correct to get scared against
his
playing
age,
against
yes.
these guys at your age.
Yes.
But you have to have a quarterback that just pretends to not be afraid when
Right.
you're trying to throw football. He's not at that point anymore. So
Do you know-
congratulations to the AFC South Tennessee Titans.
I mean,
the champions.
The Titans are. It's just they just do it every year. They're not. No one's gonna say the Titans are like this incredible team, but they just keep having wins and results, and they have the driver's seat now with 2 games at hand against the Colts,
Which feels like 10.
feels like 10. The Jaguars stink. The Texans stink. The Titans. It's their division to lose. And Derrick Henry, he had 128 yards on 30 attempts. It was just old school football. The Titans are now 15-3 the last 3 years when he rushes for over 100 yards. And I do have one thing that I found. So two quotes that I found that are made me chuckle. One, our friend Dan Dockich said, this is just a very old man thing to say. He just tweeted, Matt Ryan, comma, my ass.
My ass, yeah. Yeah.
Just loved it. I was like, yeah, that's enough said.
He also
my ass.
Dockich had another fire tweet yesterday about his ass too.
His ass.
We gotta. Can somebody put together maybe Jake or Billy? This sounds like more like a Billy. Billy assignment. Can you look up all of Dan Dockich's tweets that use the phrase "ass"?
my ass. It's
Especially
just,
my ass.
That's such an.
I see it all the time from, and every time I see it, I have to hit retweet because I love Dan Dockich thinking about his ass.
Like, I think the first time that was ever said was like when they invented color TVs. They're like, color TVs, my ass.
Yeah.
I want it black and white.
That's
That's an old school thing to say, my ass.
I would say just the first car that was invented.
Yeah.
I got a horse.
Yeah.
What's this? A motor, my ass.
My ass. Yeah. It's literally a donkey.
Yeah.
We got a lot.
You got a lot?
No, baby.
We got a
read
lot.
us some. Read us a couple.
Oh, most recent, Matt Ryan, my ass.
Yep.
We got this one's from a year ago. My man, Jackson Pardon can really go. College coaches, if you want a tough ass winner, this is the kid.
That's not the
My 3 hours ago, my ass.
Okay.
And 9
Just
hours
my
ago.
ass?
Wait, about
Yes.
what? What's the context on that one?
I don't even know. It's just
He just treated my ass.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, good.
He
Defund
might have
the
like diarrhea. Or
Oh, this
something.
this one's from June. Defund the police, my ass.
Okay.
Yep, that
nice.
tracks.
Yeah, but this is all the. Yeah, I like this.
What the fuck is IU doing? It's Branch McCracken Court. Put his damn name in the court. Cindy Simon Scotch Assembly Hall. My ass.
Okay.
very good.
Okay.
Just saw the release. Woodson is acting like he fired Fife. How ridiculous is that? What have I told you
Fife,
about Fife? What have I told you for years about IUBB Brotherhood? My ass.
My ass. Okay, that's a good one.
Ha ha ha. As I explained today, I don't need morality lessons from a politician. I need results. Honest, my ass.
Yeah, this is. Yeah, when Dockage drops in my ass, you're done.
Yeah.
You're cooked. So Matt Ryan, my
Ryan,
ass.
Matt Ryan, my ass.
My ass.
Picture of Whoopi Goldberg. Tell us about health and how you're supposed to act. My ass.
Oh, I
Yeah,
like
that's
that.
good. Oh, here. This is the one that I saw the other night. Get off Brian Kelly's all caps ass.
Oh, nice.
That's a good one.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean Brian Kelly.
Hooked on
LSU.
confetti. My ass.
My ass. Yeah. So I saw that one. Great quote, Dan Dockich. You know, just there's nothing more to be said than Matt Ryan, my ass. Like watching him play quarterback, it has to be painful for Colts fans right now. And then Jim Irsay. This is such a telling quote. It was a story. I think it was either Schefter or Rappaport tweeted out a story. Jim Irsay said about Matt Ryan, I've been around a lot of leaders, and I'd put him right up there with Peyton Manning. When you have to talk about your quarterback as a leader, not actually a quarterback, they probably suck.
I don't know how he's comparable to Peyton Manning.
As a leader, though, he didn't say anything about his quarterbacking, which is what you pay him to do.
I guess he's a leader in terms that he gets the team to play for him.
No, I think
or
he's
to like right now the Colts' entire style of play kind of does embody Matt Ryan.
Yeah.
So they are taking after his identity. So you could say he's doing a good job leading them to be who he is.
Right, and I think it's more that he's an older guy in the locker room, and he's played a lot of games, so people follow him, and he's a nice guy. We've had him on the show. He's a very nice guy. He's had a great career. He's not good anymore.
I just think Jim Irsay bases whatever his current mood is just pretty much perfectly aligned with whatever Bob Dylan song he just ended up listening to.
Yeah.
So if he hears the times they are a-changing, then that's when he gets in front of a microphone and says, we're going to fire Dan Snyder.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. So
Yeah.
he probably heard like an emotional song, and he was like, yeah, I like, you know what, now, for the time being, I like Matt Ryan.
Yeah, Matt Ryan.
But I do
just as good of a leader as Peyton Manning.
I do think-
What about his quarterbacking?
I do think he's probably going to fire Frank Reich.
And Ballard.
I think that
I think you have to fire Ballard.
probably should get rid of both of them. I feel like Frank Reich might be a mid-season firing.
Yeah, I mean,
Little Birdie told me they got a special teams coordinator that they're looking at.
okay. They are still very much in the playoff hunt with the AFC side. I mean, it like we said, the Titans losing to the Titans twice this early in the season feels like a very large deficit they have to overcome. But they're 3-3-1, which is, you know, we're talking about how bad Matt Ryan has been and how bad the team has been, but they are 3-3-1.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess they can't be the worst.
Yeah.
They're not as bad as the Texans and the Jaguars. And guess what? They get to play the Texans and the Jaguars. No, they play the Jaguars twice. They have the Texans again one more time.
This is kind of a perfect summation of what it's like being a Titans fan a little bit, because after the game, Ryan Tannehill was seen in a walking boot.
He was hurt in the second half. He gutted it out
He gutted it out. He
by
had
just handing it off to Derrick Henry.
he had a walking boot on his right foot, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And the Titans are in first place. They're probably going to win that division. it's starting to be Tractorcito season, and nobody in the Titans fan base is freaking out about Ryan Tannehill potentially being injured.
No.
Because they're like, well,
Probably want to see Malik
let's
Willis.
see Malik Willis out there. He's probably not going to be as bad, but I like Malik Willis. I do, but it seems like they don't know how to use him when they put him in games. Seems like most cool things that I've seen Malik Willis do when he's been in the game for the Titans has been because something broke down and he has to improvise on the back end of it and figure out a way to make something happen.
I just think that the Titans are probably, I mean, it's a credit to Mike Vrabel as an incredible coach that they're always seem to be in this situation. They start 0-2 this year. They're now on a 4-game winning streak. They do have the driver's seat. They also scored their first points in the fourth quarter of the season today with six fourth quarter points. Huge. But if you're a Titans fan deep down, you're like, so we're going to go to the playoffs and we're going to just watch Ryan Tannehill again? Like,
yeah.
Give us something new. Mm-hmm. Because this is a playoff team. And then if you have, Giancarlo just short.
No.
That's
track
brutal.
Power.
They should bring the porch in a little more.
That's not fair.
In the offseason, they should like the Orioles extended their outfield.
That should have been.
Let's get about 10 more feet in.
If Jeffrey Mayer was out there, that would have been a home run.
That's tough, Jake. Man. But yeah, if I were a Titans fan, I would feel very much like, hey, it would be cool to have a new toy.
Yeah.
A new thing
that
we could get excited about.
Well, they're getting a roof on their stadium. That's kind of cool.
They are?
They can think about that. Yeah, they're getting a new dome put in there.
Oh, nice. Just on top of the...
I think they're building a new stadium that is going to have a dome.
Okay, so they're not putting us... Because that's some fucking Lori Lightfoot shit where she's trying to do that at Soldier Field. Like, we'll just put a roof on it.
Yeah.
It's like, that's not how it works.
No, they're getting a roof, but they're also getting another stadium, too,
Got it.
that is attached to the new roof that they're going to get.
That's going to be... Oh, that means we get a Super Bowl in Nashville.
In Las Vegas, baby.
That's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nashville, Broadway is not ready.
Oh, my God. Those two twins, they're just the twins that take pictures. It's like two little short twins, dudes. They just take pictures on Broadway with people.
I need to look this up because I don't know who those guys are.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, are those the guys that ride in the motorcycles?
Twins? No, Broadway,
The fat guys?
Nashville.
I
They
love
like
those
hand
twins.
out. They hand out like, yeah.
I mean, guys love twins.
Bang This is what they're called. They have an Instagram account called Bang This Twins Official.
Nashville.
They just stand around on Broadway taking pictures with people. I think they.
Oh yeah, I've seen those guys.
Yeah. You know them.
They kind of look like what I'm going to look like when I'm old.
Yeah, Bang This Twins. So we
Yeah.
need to find you a twin. Okay, last.
Wait, I had one more note on this game. Mike Vrabel, I don't know if he's 1 or 1A when it comes to the funniest coaches when it comes to challenging officials, like throwing the flag.
Yep.
Because Belichick's up there. I think it's Belichick and Vrabel as 1 or 2. Today, Vrabel did this one where he stepped in front of the ref and took the challenge flag out and just dropped it in his face.
I love it.
And it's like rubbing your dog's face in it when they pee inside the house. He was like, "You fucked up. I'm going to make you watch me drop this flag." Belichick, when he does it, he tries to get it like out of his jacket as quickly as possible.
Sock.
Yeah, it's like a lit cigarette somewhere inside him. He just takes and just kind of like throws it off. But Vrabel does it and he's got intent.
Yeah.
He's like, "I want you to know that you fucked this up."
I want him
for me."
to do like the Scott Disick and shove it in one of the refs' mouth.
Yeah,
Just like, here you go.
if you hit a ref with a flag, is that a penalty? Because
Let's fuck around and find out.
Because
fuck around and find out.
Refs can hit players with flags.
Yeah, let's fuck around and find out. Was it Orlando? No. What was his name?
Yeah, the guy that got hit in the eye.
Fuck. What was his name? We're
I
dating
think-
ourselves.
Was it Orlando Brown?
Maybe.
He blinded. He got blinded. The ref threw a flag right into his eye.
It was, that was very bad. Yeah, Orlando Brown. All right, so our memory still works. If you're the Titans, good win, great win, but we know, like Titans fans, we know. We're talking to you right now. Your team is good. Your coach is great. It might be time to try something new.
If you win a playoff game this year, that you got to be like kind of pumped about.
You just
that,
know
right?
there is a feeling when you have a team that is better than most teams and most likely going to win their division, but you also know exactly where the season will end and how it will end. And just having that in the back of your head, it has to suck.
You know what you got to be hoping for? You got to be hoping for a fucked up weather game in the playoffs.
Yeah.
The Titans could win a fucked up weather game.
Big time.
If it's like super windy. I think that's the key. I don't know if you can go into Buffalo and beat them in the snow That to me feels like the Bills can just like play their offense.
It needs to be like a tornado.
It's got to be windy as fuck.
Yeah.
You got to hope for like 30-mile-an-hour winds.
An actual
or higher.
tornado I'm talking about.
Hopefully a tornado and maybe some rain too.
Because I think Derrick Henry could run through a tornado. Although Josh Allen definitely could run through a tornado.
That's tricky.
There's no way a tornado could tackle Josh Allen. No, I don't think you're beating the Bills.
But Josh Allen, I think, is light enough where he might get picked up by the tornado. Derrick Henry is heavier. Have you ever seen the movie Twister, where the tornado, R.I.P. Bill Paxton, the tornado fucks up all the lightweight
When
cars?
did he die, by the way?
Like 3 years ago, I think.
You
missed
I
it?
saw a tweet the other day, and I was like, damn, he's dead?
Yeah.
So,
it
yeah,
sucks.
I missed that one.
R.I.P.
That's on me. Hand up. That's on me. Okay, next game. Let's talk about a team that actually does have a future. The Bengals, 35, Falcons, 17. The Bengals are back. And we kind of felt like this was happening in the second half against the Saints. Now it confirmed against the Falcons, they are back. They are back doing the Bengals stuff where you cannot guard all their weapons. Joe Burrow back shoulder to Jamar Chase is literally an unguardable play. Running out of shotgun, just flinging it around. Their defense making stops in the second half. The Bengals are all the way back.
Yeah, I think they're
all the way back believing
They're out
them.
of shotgun like basically the entire day today.
That's what they should always do.
And Burrow, if you don't blitz him and he catches the ball in shotgun and he's got all the time in the world, he is going to throw touchdowns on you. He's going to throw yards on you. In the first half, he had 345 yards and 3 touchdowns. It's insane. He was on pace to break the single game. But I feel like that happens a lot now where teams get out to a huge lead and throw the ball a shitload in the first half, and then you'll never catch Norm Van Brocklin.
Right.
He's up in heaven.
Yeah, it's Josh Allen.
Is he dead?
Yeah,
He's probably
he's
dead.
dead.
He's up in
gotta
heaven.
be
Just
dead.
he's laughing at you when you have 345 yards in the first half. He's like, you're not getting close to my record. So
No.
today I'm more confused about what happened with the Falcons because we know that the Bengals offense can do this. Whenever if Joe Burrow has time, he will pick you apart and he will find his weapons downfield. The Falcons offense, how do you lose by 18 points and you only attempt 13 passes?
Because that's what they do. They're not built to throw
at all. So
ever.
So fun little stat here to qualify for passing yards. Like if you're doing like a passing yards per completion stat, you have to attempt at least 14 passes.
Yeah.
Over the course of a game, the Falcons didn't even attempt enough passes to qualify for passing stats.
They're not,
and they lost by 18 points.
Yeah, I mean that was a game that they lost the game in the first quarter because the Bengals just were throwing it down the field and they got such a lead that's like the Falcons can't. They're not built to do this. They have to muck it up and play these like ugly games. It's actually the Falcons are like a Giants light. You know what I mean? Like the Giants, if a team comes out and goes up 21-0 on the Giants, similar to what the Bengals did, like. The Giants aren't really built to do that, although they did come back on the Packers. But, yeah, the Falcons were screwed right away. And the Bengals, we mentioned on Friday's show, but if you're looking for free money, just take the Bengals second half no matter what because they do not give up points in the second half. They give up no points in the second half today. We're now 7 weeks into the season, 7 games, and they have given up a total of 27 points in the second half. All field goals, have not given up a touchdown in the second half. That means that they are giving up an average of less than 2 points a quarter in the second half.
It's pretty good.
That's crazy. The defensive adjustments they make is nuts.
It's pretty good. I think it's safe to say the Bengals are officially a well-coached team.
Yeah, and it's now I now feel like
that's
confident because we said, but going in this season, if you had to pick one team, it's like, hey, was that an illusion last year? Or like, is this something that they're going to build on? We had the Bengals. We don't doubt Joe Burrow ever, but like we had the Bengals as a franchise in that group of like, sustained success for the Bengals might be tough. And it did look that way for the first couple of games. And now it's like, nope, they're back. This is exactly where they need to be.
It's just going to take a while to get the Bengals stench off you.
Yeah, right.
And so you are the Bengals. Of course, we're going to doubt a little bit that you can put together back-to-back winning seasons because you've never been able to do that like ever. Or at least in the last 30 years. But yeah, it's not a fluke. Their coaching staff is good. And it's funny because I think a lot of Bengals fans kind of hate their coaching staff.
Well, they hate him when they don't let Joe Burrow just be Joe Burrow and throw it down the field.
Right, but I think the body of evidence is big enough now on Zach Taylor where you can say he's a very good coach. Like
As long as he doesn't-
he might fuck up occasionally game to game, but you're in good hands with Zach Taylor in the long term.
I think he's a good coach that sometimes has dumb coach thoughts.
Yes.
Where he's like, hey, let's just run the ball and not throw it to these incredible weapons we have.
Yeah,
And let Joe Burrow be in shotgun.
Of course, so he's going to make a few.
But for like full game plans.
for a full game, I think it's safe to say he's a pretty good coach. It's funny, like bringing up the Falcons the way that they're built. If they fall behind, I do think that Arthur Smith is like, well, we're not going to beat you if I let Marcus Mariota throw the ball 30 times. So we're just gonna get practice reps in for the rest of this game, and we're gonna hope that what we learned today carries over to next week, where we're probably gonna kick the shit out of the Panthers.
Right.
So he treated the second half of this game a little bit like it was prep for, and they should win like 4 out of their next 5 games. I think the Falcons are gonna make the playoffs.
Ooh.
That's my take.
How?
I think they might make the playoffs.
How?
Big Cat.
So the Bucs won't then.
The Bucs, I just looked at the schedule for the Falcons. I might be walking back my Bucs take.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, the
Because
Falcons do have the Bears and the Commanders coming up.
They get the Panthers, the Chargers at home. They get the Panthers again, the Bears, the Commanders, the Steelers at home.
All right, so your issue though is going to be
It's gonna be-
feels like there's going to be 3 teams out of the NFC East. So that's a very small margin. You're basically, if you say the Falcons are making the playoffs, that means
I'm trying to do the Giants Jaguars bet all over again right now with this stat.
So if the Falcons are making the playoffs, and I like to take like whatever, let's root for Arthur Smith. But you're essentially, it's a bet against. You're saying the Packers, the Bucs, the Rams, and the 49ers. Only one of those teams can really make the playoffs.
Packers, the Bucs, the Rams, 49ers.
Maybe 2.
Packers are out.
Okay. And you're going to kick out the Rams and the 49ers?
I'm going to say maybe the 49ers will make it.
Yeah, because you can't have it would be tough. If you believe in the NFC beast, it would be tough for the Falcons to make the playoffs.
I just think,
hey, let's make a bet on it. Let's bet on it.
I think
it's probably crazy odds.
I think that the Cowboys they're going to learn their lesson that they should have stuck with Cooper Rush. And so they're going to fall
Cowboys
off.
defense travels. Their Cowboys are going to
Yeah.
I actually bet a guy, I think a Cowboys fan tweeted me, was like, as soon as Dak got hurt, he's like, if the Cowboys have a better record than the Bears when they play week 8, you owe me 100 push-ups. So I have to do 100 push-ups this week.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
Thoughts and prayers. So here's what I think is going to happen with the Falcons.
Once or just throughout the week?
I think just throughout the week.
Because
I can't do one.
I didn't pull this take out of thin air. I've been circling the Falcons for a little bit, and I was just going to throw out the result of this game no matter what happened because I thought the Bengals were going to win. But their schedule is so easy in the next 5 games, and I think at some point they're going to go to Desmond Ridder. And he might be able to, if he could just pass the ball, I don't know, for 200 yards a game, 220 yards a game, then this team could unlock the next level.
So the problem with the Falcons making the playoffs is I love the take and I love the idea because I do like what Arthur Smith is doing, but it's like in a vacuum, if the Falcons just existed on their own and you're like, they just need to get to 9 wins and they'll make the playoffs. Mm-hmm. I think they can get to 9 wins, but it's like all those other teams sucking would be pretty tough. You're betting against a lot of really teams that are more talented than them sucking for the rest of the year.
I'm thinking that the most likely possibility for the Falcons to make the playoffs would be if the Buccaneers imploded entirely.
Yes, and they win the NFC South. Yes, that could absolutely happen. So if Tom Brady retires.
Right, so I've got 2 real options here. One is that the Buccaneers implode entirely underneath their own weight. The second is that, 3 out of those 4 teams that you mentioned?
Yeah, the Packers, the 49ers, the Packers, the 49ers, and the Bucs all have to fall off.
It's some combination of those. I think they could do it.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying. Is I think if I'm a Falcons fan, I would actually it's the opposite of what the Titans are feeling.
Yeah.
Where the Titans they know that they're going to make the playoffs and probably not do that much once they get there. If the Falcons make the playoffs at all this year, you are fucking pumped going into next year. Like because you realize that Arthur Smith is a good coach if they're able to do that.
Yes. Last thing on this game, I have to just say it because I get insults that the Yankee fans look like they're about to cry.
It's Josh Donaldson.
God.
What happened with Josh Donaldson?
the fans are letting him hear.
I like all these check-ins that we get for this game. This is actually very fun, and it looks like a lot of empty seats.
You can't strike out
Jake?
looking.
Looks like a lot of empty seats right now. People left.
I don't think so.
That's a lot of empty seats. That's a lot of
spring
empty
training.
That's a lot of empty seats.
That's Rudy Giuliani's seat
Jake,
right there.
that's a
There's
lot of
more
empty
seats than full ones.
There's a lot of empty seats right now. Billy, you agree? You can see. We're just seeing it with our eyes. There's a lot of empty seats for a playoff.
The only fan behind the dugout behind home plate that's still there is Ted Cruz.
Yeah, Ted Cruz,
So
big
just
baseball
look at
guy.
Ted Cruz,
baseball
like
guy.
Seam
right
head.
there.
Yeah. So I get insult statted left and right. So I just need to throw this out there. Jamar Chase and Tyler Boyd, they both had 100 yards and a touchdown in the first half. The last time two teammates did that was 2015. Jeremy Langford and Zach Miller for the Bears.
Wow,
Pretty cool.
that is elite company.
Zach Miller had like an 87-yard touchdown pass from Cuddy. So it's rare that I get a stat that goes my way.
Yeah,
for once.
no, that's very nice.
Yeah,
You have
so
to
I
take
have to
advantage.
mention
You have
it.
to
Yeah.
take advantage of
Yes.
those moments for sure.
Yes.
I'll just say that if we're re-ranking like we did last year, AFC North quarterbacks, I would say number one is Joe Burrow after he appears on Pardon My Take.
Yes.
That's number one.
And he has to appear again for a full interview for us to keep him at one.
Yes, number two is backup Mitch Trubisky
Okay.
when he comes in off the bench.
Number two, and then number three,
First half Lamar. First half Lamar.
And number four, second half Kenny Pickett.
Yeah,
even
second
though
half Kenny.
A lot of picks. He does have like 6 or 7 picks now.
Then Jacoby Brissett until the last minute of most games.
And then Deshaun Watson.
I'd say
One of our teams, yeah.
castrated Deshaun Watson
Yes.
is sixth place.
Maybe with a, yeah.
Horny Deshaun seventh. Last
Maybe
place
put
is
him on some, was it Prozac?
get his boner down.
Yeah, he won't. He'll just be like
Yeah.
kind of just
there.
yeah there right.
And then very last place behind that is Joe Burrow when he goes on Colin Cowherd.
yes, I'd agree with those. All right, let's keep moving. Before we do that, Pietzi, you got another sponsor.
Before we move on, I want to talk to you guys about our very good friends over at Coors Light. I love Coors Light. Big Cat, do you love Coors Light?
I love Coors Light. I was drinking some on Saturday.
I had some Coors Light this weekend. The mountains were bluer than ever. I have a confession to make, actually.
Yeah.
The first Coors Light that I had on Friday, the mountains weren't blue yet because I had gotten the 6-pack off the rack, and there was no cold Coors Light. I had just put it in my refrigerator for about 15 minutes. It was still good. Breaking news, it's still good. Now, the rest of that 6-pack was even more delicious because the mountains got blue. I love Coors Light. You love Coors Light. Our weekends are filled with deadlines, responsibilities, and just stress in general, but it's college football season, and when that weekend hits, you've got to protect your chill. So this season, make time to chill out, catch the game at your favorite bar, and while you're at it, order an ice-cold Coors Light, the beer that's made to chill. Protect your chill this season with Coors Light. Coors Light is the beer of college football. Whether your team is a powerhouse with a record to keep or an underdog with a point to prove, one thing's for sure, it's going to be a hell of a season. Stay refreshed through all the action with Coors Light, because no matter how your team fares after the clock runs out, a Coors Light in your hand means that you're winning every time. Protect your chill this season with Coors Light. Get Coors Light delivered straight to your door with Drizzly or Instacart by going to CoorsLight.com/take. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Okay, next up, Cowboys-Lions. Oh, man. Same old Lions. Cowboys win 24-6. It was a 10-6 game. The Lions almost scored a touchdown down on the 1-inch line. Very next play, fumble by Jamal Williams on the goal line. Then the Cowboys,
The game was over.
Game
at
was
that point.
over.
Yeah,
Game was over.
If you can't catch, you play cornerback, right? And if you can't really catch at all, a single little bit, then you play cornerback on the Lions.
Yeah.
Because I think they dropped 2 pick sixes today.
It was bad. It was really bad. It just felt like the Lions were in that game, and their defense, that was the frustrating part for Lions fans. Their defense actually played a good game for once, and they held on for a while. And then when you can't score at all, they just it all fell apart. I think they had 5 second half turnovers, the Lions did. So it was like they were in it. They were in it. 6-3 at half, I think. And then all of a sudden it just once the wheels came off, they just came off in a hilariously bad fashion, and the whole train blew up.
I think that their offense had as many tackles as their starting middle linebacker did. And that's not a good stat to have. Yeah, Rodrigo. I think he had 4 tackles, and then between Jared, Penei Sewell, and a couple other guys, I think Tim Kennedy got in on the action.
Yep.
I think they
Dog.
Yeah, dog, absolute dog. 4 tackles apiece when you compare those two.
Yeah.
Jack Fox stat. Jack Fox, their punter, threw a dime, and he got a new contract. He's now the highest paid punter in the NFL. So
Okay.
shout out to Jack Fox.
Okay, that's huge.
He's an AWL.
That's huge. That's love Jack Fox.
Their punter is really good.
Yeah.
Is like if you're the Detroit Lions, you've got a lot of ups and downs, some highs and lows, mostly lows. You've got some expectations, and the one person on the team that always lives up to the expectation is Jack Fox.
Yes.
So salute to you.
And I don't know. I was reading because we haven't seen the Lions for 2 weeks because they were obviously on a bye. And we were talking about, is Dan Campbell going to be in trouble? I was reading some more about it. It feels like maybe not, that they're very committed to him. They like him, but he's now 0-11 on the road with the Lions. Coming off a bye, it felt like the offense was, Amon-Ra St. Brown got hurt. So that is your best offensive player. He got hurt in the first quarter, I think, with a concussion. But they are, like, the one time their defense held, it held for 3 quarters, and then you just can't find a lead in that bang down at the 1 fumble next play that was such a same old Lions thing that it just depressed me.
It's tough. They were missing St. Brown, they were missing Chark, who's been out for a couple weeks now, and they were missing Swift.
Yeah.
Also didn't play today. So their offense just kind of wasn't there at all. And yeah, Dan Campbell, he needs to figure out something new to do because I think he's going to end up killing himself. Not like suicidal or anything like that. I'm saying through his own emotions.
Yeah, he's gonna
give himself a stroke.
He's going to try to just like will his team through motivation to win a game, and it's like you got to do something else.
Yeah,
it's something else because it's a bummer, and I want the Lions, like, even though they're in the Bears division, like, the Lions being good, the people of Detroit deserve it, and it felt like watching them the first few weeks, at least they were fun, and now the fun is gone, and it's like you lose whatever it was, 29-0 to the Patriots, and then lose 24-6 to the Cowboys. Also, from our guy Stathole, only 3 of the 64 teams that started 1-5 have given up more points than the Lions.
Yeah, no, their defense is
historically bad. And it held.
Really,
That's
really
the craziest
bad.
part.
Yeah.
It held. Like, Dak comes back. He looked okay. The craziest thing that I'm sure they'll go away from it because it feels like every time Dak is out there, they're like, hey, let's just throw it a bunch. When it's like the Cowboys, the reason why Cooper Rush was winning football games is they were playing to their strength of Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard and then running play action off of it. And if you do that with Dak, you could have like a really, really good team. And they did it today, and they ran the ball really effectively today. And I don't know. I'm just bummed about the Lions. I thought they were going to be frisky and fun, and they're not.
Yeah,
they're sad.
So you can't use tears after every single game, and I feel like Dan Campbell's been crying a lot this season.
Yeah,
and at some point you tune out the tears.
Dan
Campbell will be first team All NFL at getting out of speeding tickets.
Yes,
but in terms of like motivating your team to come back in the second half when you're down, he needs to hire somebody like Nathaniel Hackett, hired a guy to give him decision-making advice. Dan Campbell just needs to hire a guy who's a halftime specialist.
Yes.
Because I feel like Dan Campbell, he will get you ready to play in a football game. He will get you ready to run through a brick wall for him, and you want to play and you want to win for him. But he's not the smart – how do I say this diplomatically? He's kind of a meathead.
Yeah.
And you need someone who's kind of a nerd to counterbalance that if you're going to make a halftime adjustment.
Yes.
So if you're getting out-coached, if you're getting out-nerded by Mike McCarthy at halftime, that's an issue that you might want to address.
Yeah.
So just get some sort of a nerd to help you out and figure out what's going wrong in the first half and what particular things you need to change to execute on in the second half instead of just going into the speech and being like, we need to play harder.
Dan Campbell and Mike McDaniels together.
That'd be perfect.
Super Bowl.
A great buddy cop movie, too.
Super Bowl, yes.
Yeah.
That would be incredible to see the two of them walking out. Has there ever been a team
Co-head coaches?
2 head coaches.
No, I think that would be the best of both worlds.
It really would. It really would. People will say that. I mean, I guess like Buddy Ryan and Mike Ditka kind of did that, although Mike Ditka would disagree. But that would
like
be
Belichick
a great.
and Parcells.
Yeah, like why not just do 2 head coaches?
It worked out pretty well.
Yeah. Dan Campbell also got the embarrassment of the Cowboys pregame program. They named him. They said Lions first-year head coach, and then they used a picture of the D-line coach Todd Wash instead of Dan Campbell.
Dan Campbell used to play on the Cowboys. That's fucked up.
Very fucked up.
Yeah.
Very fucked up. And then also there was a report that Dak specifically picked the Lions to come back from his injury, which I don't even understand that. Like, wouldn't he just come back when he's ready to come
healthy,
back? But
yeah.
he specifically picked the Lions. So it's bad. It's bad, and the Cowboys are good. Like, the Cowboys are a good team. I think we've established that. Like, their defense is very, very good. And the Trayvon Diggs now has, which it's kind of it's been washed away a little bit. Like, you know, the talk about Trayvon Diggs being this all-world corner when he does take a lot of chances, but he's now played 35 games in the NFL. He has 17 interceptions.
It's pretty crazy.
It's crazy.
He takes a shitload of chances, but really good defenses usually have one of those guys.
Yeah.
That will do something like that. And then if you have good enough talent around him, you can kind of make up for some of that. Also, it helps when you have Micah Parsons rushing the quarterback.
Yes.
Because then you can and you should take those chances because you know he's got to get rid of the ball as soon as possible.
Down to 3 outs, the Yankees boys. They're
Wow.
kind of trying to muster up some courage.
I'm also
They're like you're cowardly
One
Lions
swing.
right now.
One
One swing.
Well,
Yeah.
there you go. Aaron
Aaron
Judge
Judge.
coming up.
Yep.
He hit
He's
62
going
of them.
wait. Aaron Judge is going to hit third this inning,
Yeah, he's going to strike out.
and he's going to
end the
strike
game.
out to end the entire
Bader and
season.
Judge back-to-back. See
Oh
tomorrow
my
night.
God.
Yeah. Oh, okay. There you
Jake.
go, Jake.
Jake, I can't wait for Aaron Judge to strike out to end the Yankees
This is going to
season.
be great. This is going to be great.
Yeah, listen, I don't hate Yankee. I kind of do hate Yankees fans in a certain way.
There's
It's
nothing
fun
really to hate. though.
It's fun to watch Yankees
But
fans
there's
lose.
way less to like. There's truly nothing to like.
They're not even lovable losers.
There's nothing endearing. They're
Every
cocky
fan
about
base
championships
has
they
good-
won in like
has good
1911.
fans.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
But like,
Do you see Aaron Boone was
Yeah, showing 2004
And he-
highlights.
and he
FaceTiming
FaceTimed,
Big
yeah.
Poppy.
That's tough. So he
that's
got
weird.
So he
I
got
thought that was satire.
he got the Yankee. Yeah,
it read like satire.
Hank is the expert
I'll
on that.
pull up the tweet. It's,
No, it's from Brian Hoke, who covers the team for MLB.com.
He got
I had
the
to check-
Yankees
I had to check multiple sources.
He got
for
the
that one.
Yankees-
What's his last name?
pumped up
HOCH.
to win a playoff game by showing them videotapes of
the
Yankees losing
choking
playoff
in the
games.
ALCS.
yeah, and FaceTiming Big Poppy.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Why not just show like his home run?
Yeah,
He
Well,
is
they
the
didn't win
guy.
the
Game 7. They have to get to Game 7 first.
I know,
Also-
but he is the guy that has the ultimate like playoff success video. Be like, look what I did, just be me.
Here's a spin zone for you. I'm a master at spin zones. The joy that we're having at your expense right now, both you and Billy, and the joy that a lot of people are having
I
at your
know.
expense.
Yeah.
The Yankees are relevant. Always, like there's no other, like no one's doing these
Where's the
jokes
needle?
about the Padres.
Losing in the
Right.
LCS.
Right.
Yeah.
No one cares about the Padres losing the NLCS. When the Yankees lose, people clown. And
Yeah.
that means you mean something.
Aaron
You're the
Boone-
Yankees.
Aaron Boone said that Chad Bowling, the Yankees' mental skills coach,
Oh man.
which
Fire that person.
was sending around highlight videos of the 2004 Red Sox this morning. Eduardo Perez also FaceTimed David Ortiz into Boone's office pregame.
Oh, man.
Was that just, did you just laugh? Like,
Here, watch this clip of the guys wearing your uniforms have the biggest mental meltdown in the history of baseball.
thanks to me. Here's how I did it.
Here
Damn.
you go.
Damn.
Good luck.
Hey, they're not done yet.
All right, they're
That's
not
true,
done yet.
that's
We'll
true. Aaron,
update everyone.
Yeah, Aaron Judge is about to get up there and probably not hit a home run.
Yeah. The Cowboys are very good,
they're-
and I'm very scared for Justin Fields' life next week.
I like the new trend that I'm seeing, which is every week somebody asks Jerry Jones a question about essentially saying, "Do you think you'll get to see another Super Bowl before you die?"
Right.
And trying to put it diplomatically. And they're like, "Jerry, do you think that you said that you'd like to get one more Super Bowl here? You think that with this team, you think they're going to be able to get you that?" And it's just Jerry like constantly reckoning with his own mortality and trying to figure out whether or not the team that he personally has assembled will give him joy before he actually dies.
Right. It's quite something. It is. It's the Cowboys are good, but I don't think they're Super Bowl good, but they're good. They're good. They're a good team.
Yep.
And they play great defense. All right, next up, Billy, you're ready. Jets 16, Broncos 9. Turns out Brett Rippon can run Russell Wilson's offense just as poorly.
Well, he passed the ball across the middle a few more times.
Yes, that's true. But it was like, that's the same exact offense. It still stinks. And the Jets are now 5-2, and you can't apologize for being 5-2. They're 5-2. They've gotten to play a couple backups, but who the fuck cares? They're 5-2.
16 points. It may have been a low-scoring game, but 16 points is the most amount of points allowed by the Denver Broncos defense at home this season.
Okay.
How many home games have they had?
I think it's not too many.
Two?
But still,
many?
Two others?
Two?
I think it's like
Texans.
3.
There's the Texans and the 49ers. I know they play.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but honestly, Zach Wilson, a lot of people are talking about his stat line. We played one of the
Oh,
best
and the Colts.
defenses.
And the Colts.
Yeah, I was going to say that Thursday night
Yeah,
game,
the
right?
Colts. So, yeah, they've played 4. That's, yeah.
Yeah, played one of the best defenses in the NFL and 0 turnovers, ran the team. It wasn't the time for him to, really put up some serious numbers. He did what he had to do. The defense played amazing. Getting lost in the sauce.
Yeah, Sauce Gardner's incredible. You
insane.
should, Billy, what you need to do, Spin Zone, is just saying Zach Wilson is efficient because he's thrown for 231 yards in the last 2 weeks combined. 2 wins, though. That's efficient.
He takes
Tua
what the
did it.
defense gives him, right?
Another stat hole sports stat. Tua was the last one to do it for less yards in 2020. He won 2 games in a row with 206 yards. And then if you go all the way back, this is a fun one to look up. Sean King in 2000 won back-to-back games for the Bucs with 171 yards combined in 2 games. That's pretty efficient. That's pretty efficient. So, yeah, the Broncos are a really fucking good defense, and it's completely wasted by a garbage offense. The Broncos have given up in 7 games 7 total touchdowns. So 7 touchdowns in 7 games, and they are 2-5.
What I liked about this game, it was filled with quarterbacks figuring out new ways to throw the ball downfield without committing intentional grounding penalties.
Yeah.
So Zach Wilson does this a lot when he gets close to the sidelines.
Dude.
Is he'll figure out a way to just get that ball out at the last second. Brett Rippon's pass that he had where he overthrew the safeties by probably 30 yards so that he wouldn't get intentional grounding, because refs, they're not used to seeing that. If you're grounding the ball intentionally, they're looking for you to throw the ball 15 yards into the dirt where nobody is. Brett Rippon just airmailed this thing out of the back of the end zone.
Tom Brady.
Yeah, so I put it down as a note. We always talk about the physical comedy of quarterbacks, and we need someone. We had Phillip Rivers was the king of it. Jameis Winston was his heir apparent. I think Zach Wilson's the future. When he gets in trouble, he spins and does so many weird things, and he will be 50. He'll run 15 yards back, then to the sideline, then still try to throw the ball out of bounds at the last second. And I love it.
He'll throw it behind his back almost to try to get it downfield.
Yeah, and that was a fumble. That was crazy. The Broncos did get a little screwed. By the way, Aaron Judge is up. He's batting 143 in the playoffs.
2
and he's
outs.
up with 2 outs.
Let's talk about the Jets.
This is pretty important.
Yeah, this is
In
pretty
terms of the sports world out there, Billy. Hang on, we'll get back to the Jets in a second. Right now, I'm gonna do. Jake, can you do some play-by-play?
Yeah, do some play-by-play.
Here we go. This will be good. This is good
great.
practice for
Yeah,
you.
come on.
Jake
Come on,
he doesn't really do baseball that much.
Set the stage.
0-1 count to Judge with the season on the line. Takes
Strike
down the middle. And the Yankees are down to their final strike.
That's the clean home run champion, Aaron Judge, right?
Yeah, 62.
Okay.
Never been done before by a clean player.
Again, I would love to see Sammy Sosa's positive test. Just show it to me, and then we can agree.
Come on.
Jake.
Presley.
Saying, please. He's going to waste this
Facing
pitch.
Judge.
Judge is going
0-2. All the fans on their feet. And the 0-2. Outside, 1-2.
I'll do the color. So, Jake, Aaron Judge really sucks in the postseason. You think he's earned his pinstripes?
He had a great regular season, but some are saying postseason didn't really translate that much.
Is this his last game as a Yankee?
Oh, that's a good point. That's the third guy in the booth.
Will be
great point.
the 1-2 ground ball to the pitcher. Presley
And
flips it
that's
to
out.
first,
And
and the Houston Astros win the American League
Yeah,
Championship.
Jake, I'm down here on the field right now, and the Astros are going absolutely nuts. Ted Cruz is just celebrating. He's popping some champagne. Dusty Baker is nodding. He's nodding his head rather quickly. This is a happy team. Back to you, Jake.
Houston advances to the World Series for the first time since 2019.
Who
The
they beat
third
that
time
year?
since 2017.
Who they beat that year?
Jake, I'm down on the field. What happened in 2019 World Series, Jake?
The Washington Nationals won it.
That's wild.
Jake, quick
Yeah.
question. Do you think, watching this game, watching this series, it felt like the Astros owned this series, but you got to think if the roof was closed in game 2, things would be going different right now.
Yeah, some are saying that, but I believe it's the MLB's call.
I think they should play game 5 because the exit velocity on Alex Bregman's home run was nowhere near the exit velocity on Giancarlo Stanton's out.
Sure.
Jake, do you think it was a good idea to show them the highlight? You could say that it worked perfectly. They got the exact result that they visualized by watching the Yankees lose in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Jake.
Congratulations
Very cool.
to Houston.
Now my nightmare of the Bears being truly standalone.
Yeah.
What should I do the
We were
P-
so close to another sports equinox, and
Yeah.
you guys just couldn't do it.
Should I do PS5 tweet tomorrow when things go bad, or should I just do the thing where like Taylor Lorenz always does, where she closes the replies?
Just lock your account.
Should I close?
That's awesome.
Should I close the replies to all my tweets like halfway through the first quarter when things start going bad?
I
think that might be my move.
I like doing that when I tweet about Miley Cyrus.
Yeah.
And then nobody can bonk me.
Yeah, I
It's
think I'm
awesome.
going to do that. I think I'm going to do that tomorrow. I'm going to give that a shot. Just being like, no one can reply to me and just wallow in my own
They can
misery.
still quote tweet you, though.
Yeah, that's
Just
true.
heads up. So then,
That's true.
then it looks pretty bad.
Okay, all right. So I'll
Because
just...
it's going to be like one retweet, 600 quote
Yeah,
tweets.
I'll just do the PS5s. All right. Jets. Back to the Jets. The Broncos defense is awesome. The Jets are 5-2.
Brees Hall got hurt. I think it's ACL.
Yeah.
But what that means is we got Michael Carter, who was sharing reps with Brees Hall.
Yeah,
and
but
he's gonna
that's
get a lot more carries.
Brees Hall
is good.
was really fucking
I know,
good.
but I also think Michael Carter is pretty good. He just was getting overshadowed by Brees Hall. So
Okay.
Braxton Berrios looked pretty good out there.
Yeah.
he's
I'd
dope.
say he looked like relatively dope today.
Also, Russell Wilson, somehow the camera found him during warm-ups. He was warming up, probably taking reps from Brett Rippon.
It was next level mental reps he was doing.
Yeah. So, and he had those cool shades on. Yeah.
Can I go LeBron reply guy on the Jets?
Yeah.
I don't mean to. I feel like I'm punching down on the Jets, but I guess what's that, Billy? What was that lip smack? You just gave me a lip smack.
I don't know.
What?
Here's what we were talking about earlier. I just want to
Say it with your chest, Billy.
I want to say a conversation that PFT and I were having earlier that the Jets are 5-2. They're a good team. They have a lot of good young talent. What I don't understand, and maybe this is just the psyche of different fan bases, when the Bears are good, I'm just waiting for the other shoe to drop. The Jets are good, are 5-2, and it feels like Jets fans are like, we're the best team in the world. Like nothing's gonna go bad. Is that fair? I feel like Brees Hall towards ACL. That's a bummer.
Right. But
Michael Carter, just as
there's
good.
been, if you've went through the butt fumble, that is the worst collapse and probably like a psychological collapse in any team.
No,
ever since then, it was.
Yeah,
What about the Yankees?
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry
good
for
point. What about
interrupting.
the
Sorry
Yankees
for
in
interrupting.
2004?
Yeah. But since then, it can never get that bad.
Yeah.
So really, we've been through something worse.
That was rock bottom. I'll never
So,
get that. But
yeah, this is.
to me, that would, if I experienced something like that, I would always go back to thinking that it was going to happen again.
Correct.
Right.
Right. but
Whenever the Bears are good, I'm like, they're not going to be good for an extended period of time. This is just, we're good right now, but I know that tomorrow will probably be bad again.
You know what it is? It's the new uniforms. I was actually thinking about this.
Okay.
New uniforms, new quarterback, new head coach. Everything's new. There's nothing.
Listen, if you have the confidence, I'm not telling you not to. I just always am waiting for the bad thing to happen, and it feels like, I guess, just enjoy the ride. 5-2 is they are a good team.
Bill, you got the
It's-
new head coach, you got the new quarterback, new uniforms. You're 5-2, almost at the top of the division. Home game against the Patriots next week. Guess the line.
Ooh, whose line is it anyway?
I think they're probably favored by 7.
Wait, what? The,
Wait,
the
Jets
Patriot
are favored by
No,
7?
the Patriots are favored by 7.
in New York?
I'm
How
gonna
would
say.
that make sense?
I'm gonna say 3.5.
I'll take the Jets.
I think.
Yeah. I think the Jets are favored by.
Is the line out?
2.5
really?
points.
What is? Oh, we're favored by 2.
I'm guessing
Okay,
2.5.
I think that's probably the first time.
I'm gonna say a pick 'em.
Hank, what's the line?
Pats -1.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
Oh, so I knew that,
pick 'em.
yeah.
Okay.
I knew the Pats were going to be favored. I'm not that good at predicting lines, but I knew the Pats would be favored.
So when I alluded to was going LeBron reply guy on the Jets, and if you wanted to, I'm not saying this, but I'm saying watch out in the Jets replies on Twitter because there's probably somebody
The
haters, not me. Again, the haters online would say that you beat Brett Rippon, Skylar Thompson, Jacoby Brissett in the last second of a game, Kenny Pickett off the bench, and a washed-up Aaron Rodgers.
That's what they would say.
And then you lost to the only real starting quarterbacks that you played against. Again,
well, really, can I tell you what you could say to reply to that?
Yeah, what do I say?
Well, we had Joe Flacco.
Yeah.
That was Joe Flacco.
We
This
did
is
have
Zach
Joe Flacco.
Wilson.
Yeah.
That's how
Zach
you have
Wilson.
to. We
Exactly.
didn't have our starter. That's what you got to say.
Yeah.
Back to him.
I'm just saying, watch out for the reply guys there.
Are you
because
are you on your burner account?
I'm not on
trolling
anything.
the
No,
Jets?
I'm just saying that hypothetically somebody could point out
So,
to the Jets accounts the list of quarterbacks that they've beaten.
all right.
And also, I mean, the Jets do have a bunch of young talents, so I guess that would be where the confidence is a little different. Like Sauce Gardner
Yeah.
is an absolute stud. Brett Rippon, I love when a backup comes in and they're like, yeah, fuck it, I can do this. He threw it at Sauce Gardner 9 times today. It was 3 completed catches for 8 yards. Like that's it. He just like, nah, I'm gonna keep trying Sauce Gardner.
Yeah, I don't know Brett Rippon's story, but I seem to recall when they signed him, it was like almost a favor that John Elway was doing to Brett Rippon's uncle because they're like buds.
Yeah.
Do you think Russell Wilson would have done better?
No.
Probably
I think
not.
Russell Wilson.
So
I think-
I'm
no, I
counting
think-
this
no,
as beating
I
Russell
know,
Wilson.
Yeah, no,
I am too.
their
I was-
offense sucks no matter what.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like it looked exactly. Brett Rippon looked exactly the same as Russell Wilson in that offense.
Listen, the Jets are 5-2, and that's awesome if you're a Jets fan. And they're probably going to continue to. They're a very well coached team. They play very, very hard.
Also, Elijah Moore didn't even play.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And there's a little stuff going on there, but hopefully he gets back.
What does that
with
mean?
the injuries?
he demanded a trade.
Yeah,
which is
and
kind of
then
weird.
Kind
What-
of was
yada, yada,
freaking
yada
out on
there?
Twitter.
What happened with the trade demand?
He wanted a trade, even though he's on a winning team, and there has been injuries. This would have been the perfect game for him to like really get a bunch of touches. But the guy's gotten the ball. Like I think it's in your first 17 games. I think he got 107 times targeted, which is more than DeAndre Hopkins, more than tons of other wideouts in the league. So I don't know
DeAndre
what
Hopkins
exactly.
played
So,
one game.
I just want to clear. The Jets again 5-2. A lot of young talent. They're winning games. You don't apologize for that. I would like to hear from Jets fans. Do you feel like the shoe's going to drop? Like I would always feel whenever the Bears are good for like a minute. Do you feel that, or are you like, no, this team's really good? I just want to hear. I like to hear from.
Realistically, I'm trying. The optimistic is like the pessimistic's pretty played out. So just trying to keep positive.
Yeah,
Right.
no, I'm
I
not
get-
saying you
I
should be
get it.
pessimistic.
I
It's-
actually think with this team, and you're right, the new jerseys that they're wearing,
Yep.
it's different. New coach, it's different. New quarterback, it's different. I feel like you don't really have a reason to be expecting harrowing defeat from this group of Jets.
60% of the team is under, I think, 24.
Yeah, it's-
or something.
there's been-
that's really what it is.
There's been so much turnover.
And
on the
here's
roster
the thing:
that
the
it's
Jets
a little bit
have
different.
the Jets have 3 games coming up that they can prove it, because if they figure out a way to go 2-1, they're playing the Patriots, Bills, Patriots, Bills, bye week, Patriots again. If they go 2-1 there, now it's a totally different conversation. Now it's like the confidence is warranted.
If we get one win over the Patriots in that stretch,
Well, yeah. If
Yeah.
if you could somehow beat the Bills, like if you get either 2 wins against the Patriots or you beat the Bills somehow, like that's now we're talking about a team that, okay, eyes wide open, holy shit, they're real.
yeah. Also, pussing out of the gun bet.
Well,
Remember, we were
I
going to.
don't-
Oh yeah, you weren't gonna.
Yeah, if they beat the
Get
Patriots
shot in the ass.
twice, I was going to get shot.
I
Just
think
getting
you
ahead of that.
kinda you're not going to do it?
Yeah, I think we got to.
Well, now you're cursing the rest of the season.
Yeah.
You know the Jets are probably going to collapse now
That's
because
bad vibes. What about
Old
pardon my
Bi-
cheesesteak with hot sauce?
Okay,
No,
I'll do
don't-
that 100%.
don't.
100%. I will eat. Yes, just don't shoot me.
no,
Let's go back down there.
Billy. Yeah, a lot of people would say like old Billy would have done it.
Get shot.
Yeah.
Yeah. New Billy.
New Billy.
New Billy's not going to
New
do
Jets.
it.
New
It's
Jets. New
Billy.
Billy.
Turned over a new leaf.
Okay. All right, let's move on.
I'm pretty sure I said you could shoot me with a bow and arrow if the Jets beat the Patriots twice. So I guess since you're pussying out, then I get out as well.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay.
So the
I
vibes are out.
would have rather done it.
I would
vibes are balanced.
I would still like to see Hank get shot with a bow and arrow. If
Yeah, I mean
possible.
that's it's like the cat thing though. You guys don't want the other side.
Paintball gun. I'll do a paintball gun.
Okay.
That's fair.
Deal. Broncos just that has to be so fucking frustrating. If you're-
Paintball gun, real bullets.
How does that work?
will jam.
even better.
But what if it doesn't? Ultimate rush.
If you're
Nail gun.
if you're on the Broncos, that would be sick.
That's probably worse than a bullet.
Yeah.
If you're on the Broncos defense, I mean, you have to just be so upset about everything because your defense is so goddamn good and your team sucks.
Did you see that before this game? They were. I don't know where this rumor came from, but people were talking about the Broncos trading away their good players, like giving up on the season.
Yeah, there's
how
a
mad would you
report
be?
about Bradley Chubb. Being on the trade block.
How mad would you be if you're the Walmart family and you just bought this team?
They didn't.
And then, like, Russell Wilson was probably a pretty big part why you bought this team. And then it all sucks.
Yeah, it all sucks so bad, and you don't have your first round draft pick either.
90-day return policy.
Sucks.
At Walmart.
They always
Good
gave
point.
it to us.
Yeah, did you keep the receipt?
Yeah.
Good point.
Um,
Nordstrom would take it back
As a courtesy,
immediately.
they've always given us the 90-day return
You can
policy.
return anything to Nordstrom. It's part of their policy. I swear to God, you can bring in like a tire that you bought at an auto parts store, return at Nordstrom, they'll give you money back for it.
yeah.
The Waltons should take Russell Wilson to Nordstrom and try to return him and see if they could get money back for him. Just an idea.
Yeah, just an idea. I like the idea. Okay, next game. Raiders, Texans. We got a couple more left. Raiders 38, Texans 20. I don't really have much about this other than Josh Jacobs was a beast. He's playing mad. He didn't get his fifth-year option picked up.
Yeah.
Derek Carr looked good. And Davis Mills Mafia in trouble.
On the Josh Jacobs thing, I get the feeling that McDaniels is trying to make a case to management to pay this guy.
Yeah.
And to give him a big extension.
Yeah.
And so he's feeding him the ball. And for the last 3 weeks or so, Josh Jacobs has been probably the best running back in the NFL.
Yeah, he's been very, very good this year. He's running angry. I actually wanted to cede my time talking about this game to just talking about Mark Davis's house. Have you seen Mark Davis's house that he's building in Las Vegas?
No, how many?
I am such a big Mark Davis fan because he just does whatever he wants. He has the worst haircut. He wears white jeans. He looks like a slob, and he has the Raiders.
I think he looks good.
He looks really good, right? And then this is his house.
How many slides does he have?
Look at this. This is the final, what it's going to look like.
Oh, yeah, I've seen
And
that,
then,
yeah.
but this is the update, so it's coming along nicely.
Beautiful.
So if you haven't seen Mark Davis's house, search it online. He's building basically like a Dr. Evil type lair in Las Vegas that looks so fucking cool.
Yeah, I imagine it would be like the opposite of Russell Wilson's house, where Russ has 3 bathrooms and 20 bedrooms. He probably has Mark Davis has 3 bathrooms in every room.
Yeah, and he has 1 bedroom.
Yeah.
No guests.
It's just a shitload of bathrooms.
yeah.
I can pee in any room of my house.
Yeah, it's a bedroom with it's just 1 bedroom with a huge fucking bed that's like the entire expanse of the room, and then he can there's just sinks everywhere that he can pee
You
in.
just piss everywhere.
Yeah. And update on the pinky bet. So the Raiders looked obviously a lot better today off the bye week. They were playing the Texans, but they have a chance of going on a nice little stretch here because they play the Saints, the Jaguars, the Colts, the Broncos, and Seahawks. All winnable games. So it could get interesting.
I think we said that the Raiders are the best 1-4 team, maybe of all time.
Yeah.
So now I think they're a pretty much above average 2-5 team, but they can play on a level with most teams, I think. You know how certain games you just this one was off on the side TV? We would check in on it. And for some reason, they gave their cameraman instructions this is going to be the Lovie Smith game.
Yeah.
So every time you look at the TV, it was just Lovie looking stoic on
Yeah.
the sideline. I couldn't really figure out a reason why they kept showing Lovie, except whatever he was doing was his beard was more entertaining to look at than what was happening on the field for most of the game. I think that's what the reason was.
That's a fact. So yeah, good job by the Raiders. They might be back, but they also played the Texans. I love always the are the Raiders back? or do they just play the Texans? Time will tell, and we'll find out next week when they play the Saints. All right, we have 2 games left. Before we do that, PFT, you got one last ad?
Yes, before we get to our last couple games here, I want to talk to you about our great friends. They've been with us at Part of My Take for some time now. I'm talking about Proximo Spirits and their proper number 12 Irish whiskey, a fine blend of golden grains and single malt with hints of vanilla, honey, and toasted wood. I love the rich and smooth proper number 12 Irish whiskey. I had a few drinks of it the other weekend when we were at Rutgers. It is smooth. It is smooth, smooth, smooth Irish whiskey. You'll love it. It's triple distilled. It's aged 4 years in bourbon barrels, so it gives you that rich vanilla, honey, toasted wood taste. Anything else just wouldn't be proper. For every bottle sold, a donation is made to support our brave first responders. Shoot your shot. Order yourself some proper number 12 Irish whiskey today. I love this stuff. It's great in coffee, too. It's about to be Irish coffee season. Get some proper number 12 Irish whiskey. Make yourself an Irish coffee. That will be delicious. I like it. Everybody likes it. Nothing else would be as proper. Shoot your shot. Order yourself some proper number 12 Irish whiskey today.
Oh, I just found an all-time reply guy because we just did that for the Jets. There's a Yankees reply guy. Yankees rings, 1923 through 1950. They won a bunch of them. African Americans couldn't play yet. 1951 through 1962, only 10 teams in each league. 1977, 1978, real rings. 1996 to 2009, multiple steroid users, cheaters. That's pretty good. That's an elite reply guy to get 27 rings down to 2.
Two rings for the Yankees.
That's some job well done.
Another fun stat. I know you like fun stats. The Yankees are the first team to lose 5 straight ALCS series.
Oh, that is fun.
Ooh. Damn. Ooh.
It's a lot of Final Fours.
They are.
They don't count that in baseball if they do college basketball, though. So.
Yeah.
But if they did,
Hang the banner.
If they did,
that'd be sick.
it would be.
ALCS finalist.
Yeah.
Put it up.
Yeah,
I like
Final
it.
Four.
Let's go.
21 out of 22 years.
Let's go to the next game and talk about the first place Seattle Seahawks. Seahawks 37, Chargers 23. The first place Seattle Seahawks. No one. There is not a single person who had the Seahawks being in first place in the last week of October. This was supposed to be one of the worst teams in the NFL, and they're 4-3, and they throttled the Chargers. Throttled them.
Guess what? They might even be getting better because their new running back,
Kenneth Walker, Michigan State,
22.09 miles per hour, fastest player in the NFL so far this season, fastest ball carrier.
Yeah, incredible. He's an awesome running back. He was awesome at Michigan State. 23 yards for 100 or 23 carries for 168 yards. Their defense is like young and getting better. I don't know. I mean, the Seahawks, are they good? Like
the Seahawks are good.
They might be a good football team.
I think
it's
crazy.
crazy.
The Seahawks are good as long as DK is not too badly injured.
Yeah, that sucks.
So he had a knee injury and he got carted off, but he's kind of the boy that diarrheaed Wolf at this point. So everybody was like, oh, he's probably just got a shit. And it's like, no, he actually is using the cart for its intended purpose this time. X-rays were negative. He's getting an MRI today. Hope he's okay. Good thing he got paid before the season started. Congrats on that, DK. But as long as he can stay healthy, I think that the Seahawks, what they're doing, they're not lucky with anything that they're doing.
They beat the Chargers.
They're playing good football.
Yeah, and the inverse of what I was saying, like big games that ended up not being big games. How about looking at games before the season starts being like, that game sucks. The Seahawks play the Giants next week. That's a good game now.
Big game.
That's a big game now that will tell you a lot about both teams. And yeah, I mean the Chargers are just the Chargers. They lose a game that they were favored at home, and they also lose another player to injury. J.C. Jackson got carted off as well. I think it seems like he's out for a while, and Mike Williams got hurt. So it's got to be so depressing to be a Chargers fan because it feels like every year, and they have all these guys, all these names, and they either get injured or the team as a whole underperforms. And even like Austin Eckler's starting to like play really, really well, and Justin Herbert's still very, very good, but it just feels like they're just the same team every year. Everyone's going to talk about them at the end of December being like, man, if the Chargers could make the playoffs, watch out for them, but they're not going to make the playoffs.
I think that with the Seahawks, if you look at their remaining schedule, you can probably do the thing where you pencil in wins and losses and then just reverse all those games entirely.
Yeah.
And that would probably end up being the case.
Yeah.
I could see them actually beating the Chiefs, as weird as that sounds.
No.
Like they're weirdly good, the Seahawks team. And I could see them beating all the good teams and maybe losing to some teams that they shouldn't lose to. But I don't think that there's anything weird or fluky about this team. I think that they're just playing good football, and Pete Carroll is he's having fun
having a great time.
figuring out like how to get the most out of Geno Smith.
And it's one of the funniest stories that the Broncos are just cratering and the Seahawks are thriving.
Yep.
And I don't know, and they have their first round pick. Mm-hmm. So it's like, imagine the Seahawks go to the playoffs and the Broncos have like a top 5 pick.
It'd be pretty awesome.
It would be one of the worst, 1 year in, one of the worst trades ever.
Yep.
It's crazy that I still can't believe that they're in first place at the end of October.
I think most of this trade just ended up being because Sierra wanted to get out of Seattle.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
She was like, I'm kind of sick of the rain. And I don't blame her. Like that guy, it would get old real fast. I could live for like maybe 2 years in the Pacific Northwest before I was like, just get me the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Because it's nice. You get to spend a lot of time outside. You probably get some dogs, load up your Subaru, go hiking, kayaking a few times. But after a while, you're like, I will literally live in any city besides Seattle. Just get me out of here.
Yes.
And I think that's what it ultimately came down to.
The Seahawks, by the way, they were preseason over under was 5.5 wins.
Yeah. No.
4-3.
I think I was hand up.
No, me too.
I wrote not only Geno Smith, I wrote the Seahawks off big time.
Whole team.
I think I said hammer the under on 5.5 wins.
Everyone did.
They might win 1 or 2 games.
I
said all those things.
Everyone thought. Remember when they were going to maybe trade DK before the season started? Like this is a crazy story that they are 4-3 and the top of the NFC West.
Yeah, I mean
now.
the Packers wanted DK Metcalf.
Yeah,
imagine that.
Probably could use him.
Probably could use him a lot.
Happy that didn't happen.
Yep.
Yeah, and I don't know Chargers. I feel bad for Chargers fans. It's just every week.
Both of them.
Yeah, they lose, and then they lose in injuries. It's like, all right, we're going to lose a game, and we're also going to lose like our best players every single week.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. Did they have a kicker? What did they do with Hopkins?
Oh, I don't know.
Because
he's probably just
he died.
milking it again.
He died at the end of last week's game with that game-winning kick.
Probably milking it again. Okay, let's do our last game. It's the Roback game. Last game is the Roback game. RHOBACK. Use code TAKE. Roback. Q-Zips, polos, hoodies, performance joggers. The most comfortable joggers in the world. I'm wearing them right this second. I love them. I wear them every single weekend. Roback.com. Use code TAKE for 20% off your first purchase. RHOBACK.com. Chiefs, Niners. Chiefs absolutely whomped the Niners.
Statement whomping.
It was 10-0 at one point. Patrick Mahomes had thrown a pick, which wasn't really his. It kind of bounced everywhere. Incredible play by the Niners defense, Hafinga. But after that, they put on a complete offensive clinic. They scored touchdowns in 5 of their next 6 drives. The only one they missed a field goal, short field goal. Mahomes was on fire, 25 for 34, 423 yards, and 3 touchdowns. They were averaging 12.5 yards per pass play. It was silly what they were doing to the Niners defense. And I feel like an absolute asshole because I bet on Jimmy G against the Chiefs, and it just reminded me that the Chiefs are really fucking good.
Chiefs are still very good.
That's the problem is they played the Bills, so it's like you forget the Bills are just really fucking good, and then the Chiefs are really good.
And the Colts.
Good. Yeah.
That was just weird.
Yeah.
That's gonna be the game that we look back on at the end of the year.
Well, how'd that happen?
That was fucked up
Yes.
that happened. But we saw that it was gonna happen, right?
Yeah.
I think we actually predicted that one. Here's a fun little stat.
Okay.
Since 2019, the highest quarterback win percentage, including the playoffs. Since 2019. Number 1, Patrick Mahomes, 79%. Number 2, Aaron Rodgers, 73%.
Okay.
Number 3 in the NFL is Patrick Mahomes in games that his team has trailed by 10 or more points.
Whoa.
71%.
That's crazy.
And then number 4 is Tom Brady, 69%.
Damn.
So Patrick Mahomes in games where he's been behind by 10 or more points has a higher winning percentage than Tom Brady in all of his starts does.
He's crazy.
It's wild.
And the offense was just absolutely humming. Andy Reid just fucked over everyone. I think Andy Reid just loves to do this to fantasy owners and anyone who's betting on these games. There was a report before the game that Pacheco was going to be the QB1, and then he had 9 offensive snaps. And Clyde Edwards-Helaire had 27 offensive snaps. So that was nice. And he just had Mecole Hardman run all the touchdowns.
I just hate it when Pacheco's out there because he's of slender build.
Yeah.
And he wears Tyreek Hill's number. And I always think, oh, that guy's as good as Tyreek Hill.
Yes.
Because he looks like him, and then he's just not Tyreek Hill.
But in Andy Reid, I feel like he does this every year where he's just like, oh, yeah, my running back, like, yeah, you should start him.
You remember?
Watch me not do anything with him.
You remember when the Chiefs got Le'Veon Bell, and everybody was like, oh, my God, how could we all
It's not fair.
How could we let the Chiefs get Le'Veon Bell?
Like, he's not going to use him.
Yeah, no, Le'Veon, he's busy getting his ass kicked by Adrian Peterson in a boxing ring for like 13 people.
Yeah, this is Andy Reid. He doesn't need a running back.
Yeah, it was an ass kicking up and down. The Chiefs credit Valdez-Scantling, Kelsey, and Mahomes playing Warzone together.
Yes.
They've been playing Warzone together.
They won 3 games in a row.
Did they really?
Yeah, so the
That's
report
pretty
was
sick.
they won 3 games in a row on Friday night playing
Squad
it together.
up. So
Kyler Murray's just like,
I think maybe Kyler Murray's teammates just suck too much at Warzone.
yeah, he's like, why can't I be on the Chiefs? They get to play Warzone?
Well, I think maybe the Chiefs get in easier lobbies.
Yeah.
Is that something that happens?
I don't know.
If you
It's
got
just-
shitty players with you, I'm pretty sure it does.
Yeah. So, it was just a reminder that the Chiefs are the Chiefs.
Now,
And don't count out anything that they do ever.
I think that Christian McCaffrey looks way faster wearing number 23.
Agreed.
Than he did wearing number 22. He looked good. He got in.
And that
for-
uniform.
That uniform makes him look faster for sure. It magically cured all of his soft tissue injuries too.
Yes.
So his hamstring's fine now that he's on a good team. I'm looking forward. I want to see them do like a Debo, Christian McCaffrey, and Kittle, and maybe even Trent Williams in the backfield combination.
Yes.
At one point.
Yes.
Because this is like Christian McCaffrey on the 49ers is really Kyle Shanahan's wet dream.
Yeah.
This is him creating a brand new. He has the opportunity to redefine what running the football can look like with this offense.
Yep.
And I hope he gets weird as fuck with it.
And Jimmy G is Hank was spouting off. He's like, if you're a Niners fan, you just know Jimmy G. He's got some vitriol for Jimmy G.
It's not vitriol. It's when they got McCaffrey, everyone was freaking out, and I was like, all I said was, again, this is where you guys spinning my words. If I was a 49ers fan, I would almost be nervous because it's like you have all of the weapons,
But you still got to get Jimmy G to get it to him.
but you need a Super Bowl winning coach. And then after that, you guys were giving me shit for it. I went back and rewatched the fourth quarter of the
Whoa,
Super
you did
Bowl.
the tape?
Well, there was a highlight reel.
You watched his bad passes.
It was all of his passes.
Yeah.
He was
No, I mean this is the concern for any. You're not wrong.
like all I was saying is like it's almost it's pressure. It's like, again, as a Patriots fan for a long time, it's like all the pressure's on you. If you don't win a Super Bowl, it's a bust. When you're the Bills, kind of similar situation, the Chiefs in a similar situation. Now the 49ers are too. They have all the weapons. There's no reason why they shouldn't make the NFC Championship or the Super Bowl. And if they don't, it's probably going to be because of Jimmy G. I like him personally. I would be worried.
There's they put up a graphic too in this game. Kyle Shanahan 1-29 record when trailing by 3+ points entering the fourth quarter. I don't know if that graphic is like confusing because if you're down 17 points, you're not going to win the game in the fourth quarter, but that does feel bad.
There were some other stats on that same graphic that had some other bad second half indications
It
for
feels
Kyle
bad.
Shanahan.
It feels bad.
So Kyle Shanahan, we keep saying like I would love to have Kyle Shanahan as my coach, and you would love to have him as your coach as well. But he's so good that I think now he does have those he's got expectations like Jimmy G has, where like Kyle Shanahan, if he doesn't get to a Super Bowl, it's kind of like he's a bust again this season.
Yeah. They went all in, and they mortgaged some of the future. And they've already mortgaged some of the future for Trey Lance.
Right.
So, yeah. One last thing on this game. We had history made. Brock Purdy, if you're a college football fan, Brocktober used to be a thing. Brock Purdy was awesome in October for Iowa State. He came in for Jimmy G in garbage time, the first Mr. Irrelevant to ever complete a pass in the NFL.
That's pretty cool.
Pretty cool. 7 other quarterbacks drafted as Mr. Irrelevant. Actually, your guy, Chad Kelly, his only play in the NFL was a kneel down, but he completed a pass. Brock Purdy, Brocktober, still rides.
Brocktober, they said in training camp this year that Brock Purdy has the it factor.
Yeah.
Which is something to keep your eyeball on.
Watch out.
The it factor is a real thing when it comes to Kyle Shanahan and how he evaluates quarterbacks.
Yes.
Yes, Billy?
The ball popped off his hand.
Yeah, it did.
That's the it
was
factor.
electric. Yeah.
You saw the it factor.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So, the good news for Niners fans is you get to play the Rams next week, and you own them.
Own him.
So, that will hopefully cure everything. That will be a fun game to watch. But yeah, the Chiefs. We're just it feels like we're just on a collision course for the Chiefs and the Bills again.
That's what I'm looking forward to so much is next week, because I feel like if Kyle Shanahan, he's going to want to try to use Christian McCaffrey in all these new weird ways, especially against a coach that he just dominates. I have a feeling we might see some clown shit next week between the 49ers and the Rams.
Yeah.
Some real clown shit.
Yeah. I'm ready for it. I'm ready for the clown shit. Okay.
Also, shout out to Juszczyk, who dislocated his finger and kept running with the football on the play, even though I think it was his pinky was pointing straight downwards.
Shit.
That was pretty awesome to see.
That is. Yeah.
He's another guy that's going to be involved in that nuclear backfield that I'm talking about.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. They should just have no linemen.
Oh, that'd be sick.
Just everyone in the
Is that
backfield
possible?
together. I don't think that's legal, but it'd be cool.
You have to have six guys, I
on
think.
the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, on the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, but it would be fucking sick. Okay, let's finish up the show. We have Football Guy of the Week, brought to you by our friends at Papa John's. Papa John's have outdone themselves with the pepperoni-crusted PAPADIA. Go check it out this week at papajohns.com or through their app. They've found a way to add more pepperoni, and it is delicious. I tried it last week. Football Guy of the Week brought to you by Papa John's, papajohns.com or through their app. Okay, Billy, Football Guy of the Week.
Cool. So this week's winner is the Tennessee Volunteers football fans.
Okay.
So carrying out the field goal posts. So if that football that's now in a Florida detention facility with the guy who tackled the 9-year-old, whoever's there, could they just send it to Tennessee just randomly?
Yep.
Someone will get it.
A lot of Tennessee fans really like to move the goalposts on things, I've noticed.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Our first nominee are 2 college wrestlers who were mauled by a grizzly bear. They fought him off and survived.
Okay.
Just
Bears take another L.
yeah. So
Nothing to do with football, but just football guys.
yeah. They were teammates, and one of them wrestled a bear off of his friend.
Was it a black bear or a brown bear?
Grizzly bear.
This makes me
Is it
nervous.
grizzly
Wait,
bear?
is this the same story you told us last week? Is it the same? Is this part of the bear attacks we talked about?
Yes.
Okay. I just want to make sure it's not even more.
Right. But
Right.
this one had to be included.
I'm nervous about the next 3 if we're start with the wrestling bear, the wrestling guys against the bear that we talked about last week.
This is very
That makes
quickly
me
going to
very
turn into
nervous.
Billy's Bears of the Week, which I actually wouldn't be mad about. Maybe in the offseason.
Actually, this one
Got Joey and
is
Pat on.
Yeah.
this one.
No, just Joey.
Actually,
yeah.
this one is a little Bears related. A guy proposed to his girlfriend with a 1985 Chicago Bears Super Bowl ring.
Okay, that is both
How
so
old?
sad and beautiful. Such love.
They seemed like young people. I don't know where he got that ring.
Was it a real ring or was it like the rings that anybody can get, the replica rings?
I think there's been a couple Bears who've had to sell their rings. So
Yeah, it might have been
a real one. Yeah.
equipment guy or something. Jason Kelsey on Game Day Apparel said, "What the fuck do I care about a game day fit? I don't like to play dress up. I like to play football."
And the best part about this is just a direct shot at his brother.
Yeah.
Like direct shot.
Did you see what Travis Kelce was wearing in the interview today?
Yes, it's like I love when he does it. He does it a couple times. What did he say? He said something last year where it was like, I played hockey, he played basketball. Or something like, what do we, like he just every now and then he takes a shot at his brother.
Travis Kelce was wearing like the Joseph and the Technicolor Dreamcoat robe today, and then he was wearing the clear glasses. He looked like the guys from like throwing fits or failing upward, if they like got hit in the head with a baseball bat.
Yeah.
That's what Travis Kelce would look like.
And our last nominee is Eric Gentry, an inside linebacker from USC, who is was in the injury tent and ran out with a bad ankle to go hype up his team on the field.
Nice.
He exited the tent. There was trainers trailing him, like saying like, "Hey, get back to the tent. What are you doing?" And he was hopping around on a bad ankle, just yelling for his defense to hype him up and get them going. So
Calling run pass.
Oh, they lost
yes,
to Utah.
yes,
Yeah.
but
That's
That's
okay.
it?
That's
He
still a
went down
football
swinging.
guy.
We'll say that for who's back.
What? Oh.
Wait, what?
Oh. Something we don't know?
Oh no, Billy was asking
I was
me.
trying to get
Yeah,
someone
Billy.
on the list for him.
Billy, you had one other guy that you wanted to put on your football guy of the
Go
week.
ahead, Billy. Go for it.
We'll save for who's back.
Like he made a tackle, right?
Right. We'll save for who's back.
Okay.
It's actually a football play, not a wrestler.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We'll save it for Who's Back. Who's Back brought to you by our friends at Visible. Wireless can be a nightmare, but this spooky season, Visible is saving you from scary wireless with the switching hour. With Visible's $30 a month one-line plan, treat yourself to unlimited data and some spooky good special offers like a gift card up to $200, as well as 31% off select devices when you switch today. Switch at visible.com/switching hour. Who's Back of the week? Let's finish up the show.
My who's back of the week is tanking.
Yeah.
Tanking in the NBA. NBA started a couple weeks ago.
Phillies are 0-3.
Wembanyama?
Yeah, Adam Silver came out, did an interview, which is all bullshit, where he's like, I think we might start talking about relegation and try and, stop teams from tanking because there is a clear number one, Victor Wembanyama.
From France.
From France. He's like 7'17" at least. Just an absolute freak of nature.
7 feet 17 inches.
He is crazy.
That would set a record.
So teams are tanking. The Sixers 0-3, trying to get him.
Lakers
0-3,
Yep.
trying to get him. So it's kind of sad. They don't want to compete. They don't want to try. It is football and baseball season, so I get it. But
This is how you know how threatened you are right now, is that you're getting ahead of the Phillies story by saying.
Hey
that
Hank,
the
I'm
Phillies-
just
the
curious.
Sixers are-
What are
No,
the
it's fine,
what's the
it's fine.
Celtics record?
Celtics are 3-0.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, new coach, a lot of turmoil in the offseason, all that stuff. Block out the noise.
That's not. You're not bringing this up so that you can talk about the Celtics being 3-0 and the Sixers being 0-3.
No, I mean tanking is a thing.
Tank's a problem,
Adam
yeah.
Silver just did an interview talking about it. That obviously, once you hear that, you're like, oh, that means that they're worried about teams tanking. Let's look at the leaderboard, see who's 0-3. It just happened to be the Sixers and the Lakers. That's not I didn't choose the Sixers to go 0-3.
No, you didn't.
Yeah.
If you
They
want,
just are.
If you want to hear
and the Lakers are so bad. Russell Westbrook, putting him in the last 2 minutes of a game is just that's the clearest sign of tanking you could have.
I think I saw a stat that said he went 1 for 6 on layups today.
He went 0 for 11 on Friday night, I want to say, or Thursday night.
It's not great, but if you want to hear the emptiest of empty promises or empty threats, it's Adam Silver saying
Yes.
that
Yeah.
we're considering relegation because that's not ever going to happen.
The owners
and
would
they
have
know
him
it's going to be a
fired.
conversation
so
all
fast.
season
fired, they
long.
would have him killed.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
they would actually kill Adam Silver if he tried to institute relegation.
Interesting, though, tanking. So watch out for the Sixers and Lakers trying to lose all these games.
Got it.
It's baseball season though and
Yeah.
football season.
Yeah.
I don't know why you keep saying that. Like
is.
it is. like no one cares about the NBA right
Exactly.
now. You keep
No.
saying that as like a dig towards me, but no, you are.
Fact or fiction? Fact.
They're
It's baseball
0-3.
season. It's
Wait,
football
I
season.
see both sides of this because they are 0-3.
So you have to ask if they're tanking.
But
It doesn't. Don't even ask them about basketball. It's football and baseball season.
Right.
Okay.
But are the Sixers tanking?
Talk to me when football and baseball season are
Okay.
over.
All right. But
I
if
will.
I had to ask you right now, would you say maybe?
I would say not winning a single game so far would lead me to the conclusion yes.
Okay.
I have no other choice.
yeah.
Who's back?
Numbers never lie.
No.
PFT.
Men lie, women lie, numbers don't.
Yeah. All right. Your who's back, PFT.
My who's back of the week is Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift's back big time. She
Yep.
dropped an album on Friday morning / Thursday night at midnight.
Would you do two for one or something?
What?
She
Well, there's a
She did
second
like a daily double or something.
there's a second version of the album that came out too, like with all the extras. So if you,
What does that mean?
I don't know, it's just Taylor being
extras.
Taylor,
Was it
man.
more songs?
These are bad vibes. These are hater vibes. coming from
I'm
Hank
legitimately
right now.
curious.
You're
I'm
taking
not
your
a,
tanking energy into the Taylor Swift talk, and I
she's-
don't
you guys-
appreciate
dude,
it.
she's-
you guys,
yes.
I'm legitimately curious. I'm
Hank,
not a
she's
Swiftie. I
from
see people talking
Tennessee.
about it. And it was
She's
like
not from Philadelphia.
Taylor
I promise
Swift
you.
put the album
Put your
out,
gun down.
and they're like, "Oh, I like this version," and then they're like, "I like the second version."
Yeah. Oh,
But, like,
are you
what-
mad about
She-
different
she
versions?
She is from
Philly.
Pennsylvania,
She is
that's
from
right.
like.
Oh, okay. All right. That explains a lot of it.
I'm not you guys again. Like, it's like the same
Wait, is
shit
she
as
really,
Jimmy
Max?
G. Like
Yeah.
I'm not I'm not being a hater. I'm just asking questions.
I thought she was from Nashville. Anyways,
She moved there as a kid.
she put out an album, maybe 2 albums. Hank's really upset about more songs.
Just curious.
You just, you're not mad. No, I want wait. I want to clear. I want to
Fact or
clear.
fiction?
Wait,
Fact or
wait,
fiction
Hank.
Monday?
Hank,
I have
fact
a
or
fact or
fiction. This
fiction
is my
question.
segment. Shut up, Hank.
Fiction. It's
No,
our segment.
It's my
is.
turn, but it's my turn to talk.
It
I'm
is
saying.
your turn.
Fact.
But
Fact.
he can
There you
talk
go.
as
Fact.
well.
But I'm talking right now, so you
Okay.
can talk in a second.
Okay.
And all I'm gonna say is she put out a lot of music for people to enjoy, and Hank's very mad about that for some reason.
Fiction.
Okay, and now go with your fact.
Fact or fiction? She put out some songs at one point and other songs later on, but called them one album? Question mark.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know.
I'm actually trying to find out if that's
That's not
fact
a
or
fact.
I don't know.
Fiction.
I just know that on Spotify, I click on her songs, and then it makes me feel sad sometimes, but in a happy way. So I like her new album. It's okay. And I think she's discovered kind of a life hack when it comes to releasing music, which is just drop an album in the fall.
Yeah.
When people are just emotional anyways.
Yeah, it's Lumineer season.
And the season's changing. It's like if the leaves are a different color on a tree than they were a couple days ago, and you hear a song, you're gonna like that song more because nature. We're all on our like annual period right now.
Yeah.
Which is this time of year. It's getting cold. You're sad because summer's over. You're looking forward to cuffing season or whatever in the wintertime. This is when you're really able to get those songs under your skin like a splinter, and that's what she does. And so far, I give it a B+. The album gets B+ with
Okay.
PFT.
I feel like the combo of Philadelphia fans and Swifties coming after you could be a lot.
You have your guard up.
I'm not worried about it.
Okay, my who's back is Philadelphia. And I will let Max speak about it as well.
Baseball season.
The reason
baby.
why you know Philadelphia is back is we had the tweet and the picture of them greasing the poles ahead of Game 5 of the NLCS, so people can't climb all of the what is it, the traffic lights and the light poles. Philadelphia is all the way back though. The Phillies are in the World Series. Max, how we feel? I mean, Bryce Harper, like. I know that he still has to win the World Series, but what he has done this playoffs and like erased any negative, like Bryce Harper, the Nationals winning when he left, he's been absolutely insane.
I
2
still
home
like
runs.
that. I still like
everything
that
that
part.
Aaron Judge isn't.
He's
Bryce
incredible.
Harper is.
Absolutely, he is. He was saying, I think after he hit his second home run, the game-winning home run, he was saying into the camera, "I am that dude," and it's like, yeah, you are.
And there was a close-up view of him in the dugout, talking to one of his teammates, being like, "I can't believe I just did that."
Yeah,
which is unreal.
Yeah, it was an electric moment because the Phillies were looking like they were going to have to go all the way to San Diego to play Game 6, and Bryce Harper is that.
You
dude.
just knew he was going to do it when he stepped in the box.
Fucking
too.
awesome. So Max, first take us through the whole weekend because you got to see the Phillies win Game 4 in a crazy back and forth. You're down 4-0 in the first inning. You're at the game. What was that like?
I was at a game. So
What game?
I was at the game.
The game.
I was at a sporting event in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Okay,
Nice.
so when you saw like 4-0 in the first inning, you're probably like, "Oh my God, we're so fucked right now."
Yeah. What was the?
Were people leaving the stadium?
Yeah. What was the stadium
Yeah.
like? What were the vibes like?
Actually, the stadium was insane. Everyone had little rally towels going. There was pom poms.
People were all
pom
wearing.
poms that night.
There were people
People
wearing
were all
red
wearing-
for the Phillies.
No, they were wearing white.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They were wearing white.
Everyone was wearing white. It
And-
was great. It was great.
What kind of
Yeah.
event was this?
It was just really. It was a massive sporting event. There were so
Yeah.
many people there.
Anytime you play the Minnesota
Sold out.
Gophers, 4-3.
Sold out. It was sick.
It's
It was
big.
sick.
So, but no, you're. I mean, we watched the final out together. You were Philly through and through. You clinched the World Series. Then you turned to one of our coworkers and you just pointed right in his face, and you're like, "Fuck you, fuck you." I was like, "What's going on here?"
I don't know. I did that.
Yeah.
That was unnecessary. That was rude. I apologized after the fact. It wasn't even. It was not Hank. People who would think that I said that.
Do you want to
Not
say that
true.
to Hank?
No,
I'm
Hank.
rooting for the Phillies.
No. The fact that Hank is trying to dance on graves for a 3-0 start to the NBA season in October is exactly.
Yeah,
it's
0-3.
I think-
No. But the
say it wrong.
Celtics being
Oh, okay,
3-0.
all right.
I think-
That's expected.
I think he was
Is-
just pointing out.
No.
though.
You're tanking.
No, that just shows where Boston sports
Trust the
is.
process.
Is that now we're
if
just
the Sixers were not
celebrating
0-3, I would not have mentioned them. but they are. I had no choice.
Yeah.
Okay,
no,
so
no,
how are
it's
you
fine.
feeling though? I mean, this is.
I mean, it's great.
And it's
It's
Team of
baseball
Destiny
season and
vibes.
football season anyway.
Team of Destiny vibes. Like
it couldn't be a more fun run to watch because all of your big players are coming up with big hits, and it's like the emotion that you see like on the field and after every game in the locker room. It's like you just root for the guys. Like,
Yeah.
it is kind of like the Cubs team is just like it's a bunch of guys that you root for and
Yeah.
you know that they're having fun and
It's
you're
the
just
opposite of the
enjoying.
Yankees.
Couldn't be more opposite of the Yankees, but you're just like enjoying the ride with them,
Right.
and it's just the city. I mean, I don't think they can. I don't want to say it.
Hey.
At home, they're like it is so tough to play.
You know the
in that
Astros are
stadium
really
right
good,
now.
though.
Yeah, the Astros
The
are
Astros
really,
are really,
really
really good.
We also
But-
have the Philly apocalypse I pointed out to you. If the World Series goes 6, the game 6 would be in Houston Friday night, November 3rd, I want to say. The night before, the Eagles are playing the Texans on Thursday Night Football.
Be like the rehearsal dinner that night.
It would
Yeah.
be insane.
That Texan stadium would be gross. It would be gross.
So I actually think that if the Phillies can pull this off, if they can manage to win the World Series, at that point, that's going to play even more into the Eagles.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Oh,
the
yeah.
Eagles are
Winning
going to build
begets
off
winning,
that.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's the new title town. I would
sure.
say, like, if you can get a World Series and a Super Bowl, like, I would say that Philadelphia would be the one city in the American Northeast that I would think about when I'm talking about sports championships in the 21st century.
I would agree. It's hard to do.
Feels
Yeah.
feels like the vibes in Philly are at all-time high.
Everything's coming up Philly.
Penn State beats Minnesota.
Penn State did beat Minnesota. That is true.
Yeah.
I heard that was also a sick game. Great place to be at.
Okay.
I also, I mean, not to make this about me, but I do obviously. I have some bit of a rivalry with Philly because of basketball and football, but I have said on this show for a long time that the Astros got off easier than any other sports team or anyone in history with their whole cheating scandal and COVID and all that shit. And I still think they're scumbags. So I'm rooting for the Phillies in the World Series.
It would be kind of awesome to see the Astros just go to World Series after World Series and lose all of them.
Yeah.
Thought that would be cool.
And I want Schwarber to win.
Yeah. Shore was cool. Bryce
fucking
Harper's
love
cool.
Bryce Harper's the man.
Castellanos.
Miles Teller, great like celebrity
Yep.
fan. Like
Yep.
it's cool.
I
Watch
want to
him.
see Mike Trout in the stands for the Phillies, rooting for the Phillies.
Yes.
That's what I like, caring so much more about the Phillies than he does about the Angels.
That would be the least surprising thing ever. Like,
That would
I
be
could
awesome.
So see. him.
I guarantee he's going to be at one of these games.
Yeah.
Yeah. He has to be. All right, Billy.
So my who's back is life imitating art. Recurring guest Jimmy Tatro had a skit that he did about those videos, the inspirational videos of the special needs kids running in touchdowns. Well, Jimmy Tatro did a skit once where one of the kids on the field doesn't get the memo that they're supposed to let the kid walk into the end zone and tackles the kid. And that happened over the weekend.
Oh, it did.
There was a viral video. The kid didn't know what was going on. He tackled the kid in the backfield. Everyone was like, "What the hell's going on?"
Yeah, so
everyone
put their hands on their head immediately.
wanna see
like, oh
this.
no!
I sent it to you. It's
From a football
watch
standpoint, the kid made a hell of a play.
well,
Right, that was my point. It's like he might be a football guy.
Oh, he blew
unintentionally.
that up.
Yeah, it was like
he might-
it was
He
like
blew that up.
It was like
It's
Troy
kind-
Polamalu.
It's kind of a football
Like,
guy move
how-
to
They threw him flat?
not realize
Well,
what's going on
okay.
and just be like, I see guy with the ball, I got to tackle.
Yeah, I think that if regardless
Even though he was
of who
probably
the
told
running back
beforehand,
was at
don't
that
do
point, that quarterback got hit at the mesh point.
yeah.
Like that kid was making a play.
It's so crazy because high school football, it's such a shit show. Like I never knew how all those videos always got done so well with everyone on the same page, because there's always some kid who has no idea what he's fucking doing, and he like doesn't even know what to do when he's playing in the actual game. So
Yeah.
like to make sure that everyone knows like to not actually play.
Yeah.
It's we all knew it was going to happen at some point in some place across America with how many football games go on
Right.
Friday nights, but it happened.
Right? Can you ever get like 11, 17-year-olds to all do the same thing at any given time?
Very hard.
Very tough to do. So it's shocking that we haven't seen this happen before. But
His expression after he does it and realizes what's happened, where he looks back at the kid on the ground and he's like, "Oh my god!"
yeah,
Like,
I mean,
what did I do?
it was tough to see, but at the same time, you can acknowledge that the kid made a play.
He made a play.
Also, realistic experience for the other kid.
That's a good point.
That is
Yeah.
true. That is true. Okay, Jake.
But they gave him the ball on the next play.
Yeah, and then he scored.
Okay, that's good.
Makes the touchdown sweeter.
It does.
Yes.
Yeah.
That there
he
was
had to
a
earn
stop.
those yards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Two carries. You can do his yards per carry now.
Yeah.
That whole thing.
Two
Yeah,
carries,
that's true.
80 yards, touchdown. That's a good
true.
stat line.
And he didn't fumble the ball, did he?
Right,
Nope.
he did it.
Ball
Nope.
security. That's
Yeah.
great.
Big time.
That's awesome.
Listen, that's a great way to learn about life a little bit.
Yeah.
Didn't want to put him on Football Guys of the Week because I didn't want to send the football with a nail in it from a penitentiary to that guy.
Yeah.
You want to celebrate
good-
that?
that's a good call.
You can acknowledge it, but not
Not
celebrate.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Jake, finish this off.
My who's back is Bruce Bochy. Great MLB manager. He's the new manager of the Texas Rangers.
Whoa.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
Second show he's been referenced on this week. Advisors.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Stu did.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird.
Out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere. Yeah.
And that was recorded before he was hired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, that's also true.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
not enough people talk about that even year dynasty with the Giants.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good
Which
point.
the 2016 Cubs ended.
Yeah, Bruce Bochy.
I would
And
like,
he-
I would like to
and
see
he beat the 87 Mets, I think.
what's Ron Washington doing these days.
I think he's the third base coach of the Braves.
They should bring
Is
him.
he still?
He basically got fired from the Texas Rangers for doing coke, right?
Yeah.
That should be a requirement of any team playing out of Dallas.
Yeah.
He is.
You shouldn't look down. Jerry Jones probably wants to gobble that guy up.
Yeah. Jerry Jones, yeah, if you made that a rule.
Like here's
You
my
wouldn't have been the owner
here's my
anymore.
theory. You don't want a guy that does coke all the time, but if you have a guy that's doing coke, then that means he's a cool enough guy to be offered coke.
I'll say this, Aaron Boone, if he was maybe more of a party guy, I feel like the Yankees might go farther.
I agree.
He's
kind of
too
a
much
square
of a robot.
He
a
gives me
square.
like
He's
hall
fucking
monitor vibes.
FaceTiming Big Poppy before an
Do you guys think
elimination
there's
game.
any percent by the time this episode's out, Aaron Boone's fired?
I mean, I think you want that to happen, right? Something has
gotta
to
get- you gotta get
You
A-Rod.
guys do
Major
the
has to-
same thing every year.
You guys need
Yeah.
A-Rod in the clubhouse.
And it's crazy that you go. That's a fact.
Yeah.
You go to the ALCS and you just don't win games.
Right. I think it's re-sign Judge, Stanton and Cole are obviously long term, but besides that, I say anything else is on the table.
I would give him an extension. I'd say you don't want to mess things up
Well,
too
they did
badly.
last year.
Yeah, I
Oh,
know.
so
Give him
yeah.
another one.
You don't
Yeah.
want to. You don't have to pay him to go
So
away.
I'm open to anything. Keeping Judge, obviously Stanton and Cole, and yeah.
Bad
Yeah,
times.
They
Major
should.
changes
They
to
should get Ron
happen.
Washington.
Bad times.
That's what they should do. Like put him in New York City.
Get a dome that you can open and close. Jeter. Wow, that
As
would be
man-
That'd
Manager?
be crazy. No. I mean, I could see him coming back and he's not with the Marlins anymore, so
Yeah.
maybe in a
He
front
can save
office
it.
role.
He can come and save
Don Mattingly's no longer with the Marlins.
it.
A-Rod,
A-Rod.
A-Rod.
World Series champion.
Jabba Chamberlain.
Yeah.
The whole squad.
Nick
David Wells.
Swisher.
They
Yeah.
should get
Yeah.
David Wells and Ron Washington together.
Dude, all these guys.
Swisher's a big vibes guy, I feel like.
CC.
Mark Teixeira.
CC. Tex.
Jason Giambi.
Oh, Francesa. That would
What?
be crazy.
Francesa to
Fran-
manage the
Oh, that'd be-
Yankees.
No,
I
no,
like
no,
that.
no,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
no.
Good call, Jake.
No, he has a whole thing with Jason Giambi.
Oh no,
his
I want
callers.
Francesa to
Yeah.
to manage the Yankees. He would
That would be
probably
fun.
162-0.
Steve Nash.
His
Yeah.
press conferences would be must watch.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
And everything's on the table.
Kyrie. You want to change the vibes around? Get Kyrie to set off some sage in
Yeah.
the dugout. That'd be nice.
So we'll see. But yeah, I'm hoping for major change.
Are you
because-
pretty down? I mean, this is pretty bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
That's
Yankees
as
were
down
like
as Jake gets.
the
that
Yankees
was
are-
Jake being like, I want to kill myself. And
Like,
being like, yeah,
I
I'm
grew up
little
in a
down.
Yankees bedroom, pinstripe wallpaper.
what is that?
Like,
Who's?
this
Yeah.
is my team.
Oh,
Right.
but
No, we know.
But
okay.
yeah.
Yankees. Not, I hope not, was it John Wetland?
What?
That guy, he did some fucked up shit.
Hideki Matsui.
Matsui threw out the first pitch yesterday.
I
No,
did
you're
see that.
thinking of Arabu, who's
Yeah.
passed away.
No, Hideki. I know Arabu. Matsui had like $80,000 worth
Godzilla.
of porn. Did you know that
Oh, I
about
thought you
him?
were saying he had
Yeah.
Matsui'd himself.
John Wetland was on the Yankees, and I think he's in jail. Yep, he's in jail for bad things. Very bad
Disavow.
things. Yeah, disavow. Thank you. That was good.
Yeah.
All right, so now we're a clean slate. We've just disavowed John Wetland, and the Yankees are back. Numbers. Hank, have you ever gotten this?
I have not. Shout out to everyone this weekend down at LSU. That's the number one thing I get now in public is just people telling me numbers.
So
17.
That's what people told you?
No,
17?
I'm going
The
with
one
my
that you
gut.
keep guessing and not getting?
Come with the horse you rode in on.
All right, I'll go 16.
Hideki Matsui had 55,000 porn videos in a collection.
I believe he
would-
was
that
also
would
number
travel
55.
everywhere.
Yeah. Oh,
That was before the internet, dude. You guys stay strapped.
Yeah.
He would give he would give it away to team beat writers
All right, 16.
and also regular writers.
69.
37.
18.
Oh, Hank. Could you get it? Nope. 68.
Oh.
Billy was trying
That's
to run up the
close.
score on you. 68.
Remember
that
when
was
Billy
close.
got it?
I'm rooting for you. But actually, because I want you to get it once, so you get it twice, so you have to pay us.
Do you want to borrow 69 for a couple
No.
days?
That's actually one of the nicest things you've ever said to me. But no. Statistically,
You can't win with another man's number.
You know, you can just say 69 though. There's, like Billy.
Yeah, that's true. If you
Billy
just say
doesn't
it
have to
before Billy,
give it to you, yeah.
Yeah, I'll start doing that. Oh, some bubble wrap underneath.
Wait, so Hank, what did you pick this time?
I chose 17.
So you're gonna stay with 17?
I don't fucking know. Don't worry about it. Worry about
Let's
yourself.
just
All right,
do a
wow,
fake
all right.
one. Let's do a fake
You
one.
think
I
that
just
this
wanna
lotto
see.
machine
This
was
doesn't
fulfilled?
count.
69.
Nothing counts. Nothing counts.
No, you can't. You can't do this.
Go ahead.
All right,
let's
so
do
Hank's
a fake
taking
one.
17.
No, nothing
Unplug
counts.
it.
This does not count. Oh, 10. Oh, man. I would love a fake one to have 17.
Do one more.
Yeah, fuck it. It's true. It's 1:30 in the morning. Fuck it.
Hank, have you checked to see if 17's in there?
$26. I'm going to tweet out right now. Just finished taping part of my take. Tune in for Hank's number. Eyeball emoji. People get excited and it just won't
I
happen.
feel like the veteran AWLs will sniff that out.
Yeah. Okay. See everyone on Wednesday.
Love you guys.
Huskies like to sleep in the snow.